Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, or evening, or wherever you're at today. Welcome.
Definitely morning.
Definitely morning where Ira's at. Welcome to Speed Networking with Michael and Ira. My name is Michael O'Connor. I'm the owner and founder of the ServiceProfessionalsNetwork.com website, commonly known as SPN, especially on LinkedIn. We've built our reputation by doing win-win networking and practicing the golden rule. Sometimes I step out of line and tell people to mind their P's and Q's, but that's about it. Here's my co-host of today's networking show, Ira Bowman.
Hey, everybody. Good morning. It's seriously early. Mike and I are like, why the hell are we doing this so early? And then I reminded Mike, London is the reason why we're doing it this early, because it's 6 o'clock there right now.
Well, they need to be seen too, right?
So here's the thing. If you're in the UK anywhere, like you're in Europe, I want you to tell us in the comments that you're watching. Give us some encouragement. Otherwise, I'm changing the show to 3 o'clock because I know Mike and I do much better at 3 p.m. than we do at 8 a.m. Why, Mike? Because we work late. That's why.
Well, we're both night owls. I mean, and honestly, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, being a self-employed entrepreneur for as long as I have been is still kind of early for me. People don't realize, like, I don't even take clients or schedule things because, I try to do most of my stuff through online marketing, advertisement. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today is how to grow on different platforms. Yeah. I am definitely not a know-it-all, so I hope that other experts, or I'm not even considering myself an expert, I hope that experts on different platforms come up and help us figure out some things. So now, if you're on Instagram or you're a YouTube guy or you're a blogger or whatever it is that you do well, come up and tell us about it. Tell us what you do. Tell us where your channel is. Tell us where your blog is. Tell us how to find you. Of course, you should join SPN and make it easy for everybody. But the whole idea of this show is to get people to know who you are, what you do, and how they can build a win-win with you, right? So it's kind of
I think we should focus the show on social media. I just got done writing my TED Talk, which is going to be fun. So if you don't know, I'm doing a TED Talk in Wilmington, Delaware on April 30th. It's a Saturday. It's right outside of Philadelphia, for those of you not familiar with the area. So I'm going to be flying out there. There's usually the TED Talks are kind of a local thing, but they're doing an international one. So they're bringing people in from all over the place. This thing has 24 speakers coming. It's going to be...
well, what an honor. You're one of those 24 people, huh? So it's going to be a big event.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. And what I'm talking about, Michael O'Connor, and not that I consider myself necessarily to be an expert either. We could debate what an expert really is. But
I don't care to have the debate.
Yeah. But here's what the talk is. The talk is how to use LinkedIn to accomplish your professional goals. I'm going to be speaking a lot about how to actually use LinkedIn in this TED Talk. So I think a lot of you will want to catch it. But I'm also going to talk about my journey, right? So what happened in May of 2018 when we first talked, because that's the month when we talked, right? I bet you said, hey, if you're smart, call me. Yeah, so we talked. So from that point to June of 2020, we're going to talk about quickly in the talk. But then I'm going to talk about how I make 6 figures now. And I was just talking to my good buddy, your good buddy too, Joe Stepke, yesterday on the phone. Talked to Joe a lot.
Batman.
I was talking to him in March now. It looks like my business is going to double the size of my... Yeah. So how do I do that? How am I getting this growth? Well, it's coming from what I'm doing on social media. So that's what the TED Talk is going to be about. We could talk about that here on the show. One thing that we promised people, if you remember on Monday, we said, because we do this on Mondays too, by the way. So if you're watching this, it's like, hey, this is too early, or hey, this is too late, wherever you are. We do them on different days at different times for that reason. That's one of the strategies that we had when we came up with the times. So we start at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Mondays, and we start at 11 a.m. Eastern time on Thursdays, so that if you're in different parts of the world, you can show up. That's why we want to know if you're watching from Europe, because literally, if we have nobody watching from Europe, there's no reason on God's green earth that we need to do it at this time. Anyways, but what we promised we were going to talk about was the YouTube playlists. And then, if you remember, we owe people from the previous week, we owe people some strategy on Instagram.
Well, I definitely want to talk about both those strategies, and I
Yeah,
want
so
to.
if people want to come up and talk about social media, if they've got any hacks on any of the platforms, stuff that they're doing that's working, that I'd love to have people on and we could talk about. Because I think if we make the show revolve around social media, I think that would be it. I think that would be a good thing.
Well, I think we definitely want to have some topics, and here's the thing: I want to have people come up and introduce themselves, like which is the original purpose.
Always, yeah, you're always going to be. If you come on our, you're always going to get to do that.
Even if you're a novice and you don't really know anything about social media, but you just want to grow or learn the basics, this is the perfect show to come up, introduce yourself, set your starting point, and maybe in 2 years you're giving a TED Talk. That's kind of the point, right?
You can ask us questions too, and this is the thing I want everybody to know. In the year 2018, I hated social media.
You made it abundantly clear to me when you called
me. I hated it because
you made it abundantly clear.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I still hate about it, honestly.
I think that's why you called me, was to tell me how much you didn't like social media at first.
No, I called you to learn, and I learned.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. Yeah, no, for sure. But here's the thing: you can, like Mike said, look. I went in 2018. I really didn't know much about social media. I certainly didn't know how to use it to my advantage. And by 2019, I had started to coach people because of the growth explosion that I had. There were so many people saying, "Hey, what did you do? How did you do it?" I went from 1,500 followers on LinkedIn to 25,000 in 7 months, right? And it's funny because I see people talk about how fast they grew. It's like, well, I went from 25,000 people to 100,000 people in 2019. So in 2018, I added, basically 24,000 people. And in 2019, I added 75,000 people. So you can grow relatively fast. And there's also, and then I'm going to talk about this in my TED Talk too. And I just finished writing it, so that's why it's all fresh.
I'm glad you're pumped up.
But one of the things that I'm going to be talking about is setting goals. So what is your actual goal? Because you and I both know we can get hung up on vanity metrics, and the vanity metrics don't always move the needle when it comes to making money. So if your goal, let's say you're out there and you're a sales rep, and your goal is not to be the most popular person on LinkedIn, you really just want to drive RFQs, quotes to drive sales, right? So you want to build your sales funnel. Well, the metrics that you would build and measure are going to be a little bit different than somebody who says, you know what I really want to do? I want to sell books, or I want to get speaking engagements, or, whatever their particular goal is. Maybe it's to find a job, or maybe it's to find a better job, or, you know what I mean? So you have to start, in my opinion, you have to start with the end goal in mind, the actual objective, make more money, find a job, whatever it is, and then kind of reverse engineer the path. So I'm going to be talking about that in detail in the TED Talk. But if you guys want to come on the show now and get some spoilers, by all means, I don't care.
Yeah,
TED Talk would be fine. And I would tell you this: I could speak about this for 4 hours straight and not go through all my material, because there's a lot there. The TED Talk is going to be 15 minutes.
Well,
so you come on the show and talk about
here's another thing too, right? Is one of the things we're going to talk about is, like, a lot of people get really hung up on repeating themselves on social media. Like, and I actually got called out about that, earlier in the week. And that's kind of why I did that hard introduction in the beginning, is because we weren't really properly introducing ourselves and what we do. We weren't given a great example of elevator pitches ourselves. So I'm going to start, introducing myself in every show and what I do. And
how I think that's what we should do, honestly, because
it just makes sense.
I just put this in the comments. You have to repeat yourself. And here's why. Because algorithms, because feeds, because people don't go to your profile. So Mike and I will go to your profile and we'll actually read it. which makes us a little bit unique on social media.
I've read people's profiles during these shows.
Yeah, we'll go to your profile, we'll read it, we'll read your content, and we got it, right? But the fact is, most people don't consume social media that way.
Most people don't even read your title all the way.
That's what I'm saying. So, let's say you made a post 3 months ago, and it was a great post, good topic. Let's say you had, let's go crazy here. Let's say you had 50,000 views.
Mm-hmm.
We have 50,000 views on a platform of 760 million people. 50,000 views is a drop in the bucket. So
it really is.
If you have something that you really want to, quote unquote, get on your soapbox and champion, then you need to say it multiple times. And frankly, we could talk about this strategy too, because we've talked about this a little bit on other shows. Content curation. So you take a post that's brilliant on Service Professional Network, because that's obviously where you're going to start your posts, right?
Yeah, every time.
That's where I'm going to start mine. You're going to start it there, but you're going to move it to Twitter. You're going to move it to Facebook. You can move it to Instagram. You can move it to YouTube. You can move it to LinkedIn. Oh my gosh, there's so many options. You don't have to be like me in full-time social media work. That's what I do full-time. Some people say, Ira, how do you spend so much time on LinkedIn every day? Because that's how I make my money. That's my full-time gig, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Which also, let's just talk about this, sidetrack this just for a second. You're going to take LinkedIn advice or social media advice from somebody who has a full-time job doing something else, or somebody who makes their entire living 6+ figures.
You know, I may not make 6 figures like you do, right?
But I'm just saying, you do this full time.
Well, what I'm saying is I make hundreds of dollars a month for that sponsor my website. Okay. Just because I tag other people and post.
I sponsor your website because I believe in what you're doing, man.
Well, I think everybody believes in what I'm doing. Otherwise they wouldn't sponsor me. Right. But my point is, okay, I have a rather large website. It's not like a typical 5-page WordPress website. I mean, it's got millions and millions of pages. I spend thousands of dollars a month in hosting.
Over 20,000 users too. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, there's some costs involved, right? I recoup a lot of that cost through sponsorship ads that I get from people I've met through LinkedIn networking. And quite frankly, I'm harsher than most people. So, you know, if you're somewhat professional and you just carry yourself in that way, right? You don't have to be fake. You don't have to be pretentious, right?
If you're Mike, I think that you have grown professionally in the last couple of years a lot. I want to pay you that compliment.
I appreciate that. I've been working on it. I don't know if people have noticed, but you know,
I have noticed. Like
I'm trying not to.
You used to blow up on people pretty fast, bro. And what I love about you and why we're brothers is you wear your heart on your sleeve. Okay, like you're not fake. I hate this thing. This fake it till you make it crap. No, that's not what you should do. What you should do is study and learn and get better. And that's what we should do. Not fake it. Fake it is so unauthentic. It's the absolute opposite of what Mike and I do. We don't fake anything. We'll tell you straight up. Did you hear what Mike said? He doesn't consider himself a social media expert. I say hogwash to that. I think Mike is a social media expert. But anyways, here's what I'm trying to say is there's 2 types of people on social media. There's the people that want you to think they have everything together and they know everything about everything and they are God's gift to everybody. And then there's people like Mike and I who are like down to earth, blue collar dudes who study and work way harder than we even care to admit because we don't want to embarrass ourselves how much time we spend at this. But also, we accomplish a lot of things that most people only. But also, we accomplish a lot of things most people only because he's got his sound on.
Sorry.
Just busting your chops.
Facebook always screws me. See, that's why I'm not a social media expert. You know, I'm trying to respond to comments and not be a jerk.
There's a lot of people out there who tell you they can get millions of views and do all this stuff. And it's like lightning in a bottle, right? You did it one time, or they paid somebody $2,000 to promote them.
Yeah,
and they got it because the person they paid promoted them was there. Not it wasn't because they did it on their own. Like you and I stand on our own. You know what I mean? We don't have
no. I mean, like, here's the thing, right? A lot of people, as soon as you tell them that you pay for anything, right? They assume that you're buying followers or you're buying fake traffic or you're inflating your numbers, right? And certainly a lot of people do that, and it nauseates me to no end too, right? It bothers me, right? But the reason why my YouTube videos get a lot of views despite our topics, I mean, if you look at them, we don't do a lot of editing. They're not cartoons, you know what I mean? It's not like a wham bam 70-second thriller, right?
There is no sex appeal. Sorry, Mike.
No, I mean, there just isn't. Neither one of us have great cleavage. We have cleavage, but it's not great. You know what I mean? So,
boobs don't count.
yeah. So what I'm saying, right, is that people watch these videos all the way through to get these golden nuggets because they know who we are, right?
Yeah.
But I still have to market the videos.
100%.
Now, when I market the videos, I go to Fiverr. I pay people to share them on Twitter. I should pay people to share them on Facebook. I pay people to share them everywhere I can. Why? Because I'm marketing myself and I'm marketing my company, and that's what makes the world go around.
I have 16 people on my quote unquote staff. Now, none of them are W-2 employees. They're all 1099. Mm-hmm. So I don't use Fiverr like some of you use Fiverr, but I do have people. I have an Instagram guy. I have an Instagram guy who helps me get comments on my posts.
When you help me, you just introduced me to that guy.
And that's how I pay that guy. But that's part of the strategy. So,
well, when people don't realize, right? It's like, well, why do you want people to come comment on your Instagram, or why do you want people to come comment on your LinkedIn? And isn't that a bad thing to do?
No, you get growth.
Huh?
That's how you get growth. That's how you get the algorithm to pump up your.
You didn't make the platform. You didn't make the rules, right? And
change all the time. By the
way, I mean, it comes down to this, right? You have a marketing business, and your responsibility to your clients is to get them the most views possible, right? So if you build up your Instagram to 80, 90,000 people, whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, it doesn't really matter if it's driving engagement to your website, driving engagement to your LinkedIn, and bringing more people to your clients, which ultimately, benefits them because everybody but us, really, and I hate to say that pretentiously, is struggling for views, right? When I kind of smiled when you said, "Oh, some people, claim to make millions of views and do this." Like, I literally do that every month. I pay for it on my website and curating content. I mean, that's what the Service Professionals Network is all about. Is curating people's content and then redistributing it to other places. When you're having trouble getting views on LinkedIn, like a lot of people will say, hey, LinkedIn's the place to be because there's 760 million or 800 million people or however many millions of people.
Which is funny because when you ask them who their demographic is, this is what drives me nuts about people, right? Yeah. They tell you, oh, it's LinkedIn and LinkedIn only, right? In fact, if you're watching this, you probably nodding your head like, yeah, I just want to be on LinkedIn. Well, let me ask you this.
Hold up. Don't make me do the hold up banner. Some guy sent me a message through info@serviceprofessionalsnetwork.com. Okay. This is somebody that I've highlighted in many different posts throughout the last 5 or 6 years. I've highlighted him individually. I've highlighted his company. I've generated hundreds of followers for the guy. Okay. A lot of his mutual connections are people that I referred him to, right? Yeah. Sends me this message, says, hey, I don't know how to delete my account on the Service Professionals Network. Can you delete me? And I was like, yeah, sure. No problem. Delete them. Next step, go to LinkedIn to remove them as a connection because this person just told me, hey, I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to support your business. I'm not going to build a win-win with you. Right. That should have been the end of the conversation, you would think, right?
You said that to me. I love it.
That should be the end. Did I send you the follow-up conversation?
Yeah.
So the guy sends me back a reply, people, and was like, hey, I would have wished you well on LinkedIn, but I saw that you disconnected from me. Right. Like, I didn't know how to, talk about growth, okay? A couple of years ago, that guy would have got a whole different message than the one he got today. You know what I mean? Because I basically just told him, hey, you're not looking to build a win-win with me, so you're just taking up a spot. Have a great day. Wish you the best, right? What I didn't tell him is, you idiot, not only did I put you on the featured member list and give you thousands of new friends for free, right? Like, his SPN account was bigger than his LinkedIn following. Right. And he tells me it's just not the same. It's not the same people. And I know what it is. He goes to my website. He sees a meme about boobs or whatever the other word is. Right. Because he kind of let me know that without letting me know that. Right. It's the memes. It's this. It's look, if you're on Twitter, if you're on LinkedIn, or if you're on Facebook, it's the same people posting the same content. If you don't think there's escorts on LinkedIn, you're crazy because the same people make the accounts on my website and then they put their LinkedIn account on. And then they put their LinkedIn account on my. So I mean, every website that is out there that is social media, and LinkedIn is included in this, okay, has the same people.
No,
Okay.
it's true, and sometimes that's not even the real person that what you're seeing and you're offended by it. The person who created that wasn't even that person. They they call them fake. They call them fake accounts, and it happens even on Project Help You Grow. I can't stop it. You know,
It is what it is.
I can delete people's accounts, but you know, people make fake accounts on every social media platform, every website. I'm gonna tell you something. I get paid. I have 4 people in India that I pay for SEO, and what they do is they create what we call social media profiles and listings, and we build the profile. We put in the business website link, and it's part of our backlink building service. And so the links, the accounts that we're building are not created by the customer that's paying me. They're created by Bowman Digital Media, and we make it on their behalf. Now, are those fake accounts? Not really, because they're listings for real business, right? But the person that is listed inside the listing is not the one who actually created it, because they're busy running their law firm or whatever it is service that they have, right?
What they do.
We have all kinds of clients at Bowman Digital Media, but that's how it works, guys. That's like people don't understand really how all of this works. I was trying to explain this last night, even to my pastor at my church, because he's like, "Hey, I've got this thing, and I need to do this." And I was telling him about we need to get more Google reviews, and he's like, "Well, how do we do that?" And I said, "Through Google Maps." And then I showed him on his phone how to give the church that he's the lead pastor for a Google review last night. He's been working at this church for over 20 years, and
People don't even realize that even a
he had
church
never
needs to
done a
do
Google
marketing.
review. Yeah, he had never done a Google review for his own business. He's been working there for 20 years. You know what I mean? Like most people have no idea how all this works. That's what I'm saying.
No,
You know,
people don't realize how much like Google reviews and YouTube videos and YouTube backlinks make a big difference. You know what I mean?
it all adds up. But the very last sentence of my TED talk, and to summarize the whole strategy that I'm gonna be teaching, is top of mind to win. That's the last sentence, exclamation mark. Top of mind to win. Social media is about, again, to summarize what we've been talking about this whole time. How do you grow followers? How do you get more views? How do you develop your sales pipeline? How do you get the recruiter to consider you for the job? No matter what it is you're trying to do, how do you get people to go over to serviceprofessionalsnetwork.com and create a profile? It all boils down to the same thing. You have to be top of mind on social media, because the moment that you go away for 2 days, I don't care if you're me or you or Gary Vee or Simon Sinek or anybody else who has large followings, right? Even if we stop posting for a couple days, we're no longer top of mind.
If I take 8 hours off,
We lose a ton of momentum. You're no longer top of mind. If you have 500 followers and you want to post once a week, you're wasting your time. But I will tell you this: you could never post on social media and actually do much better. And here's how. Again, I said top of mind. I didn't say post like a maniac. What most people are failing to do, and I'm going to be talking about this ad nauseum in my TEDx talk, is that they spend too much time trying to create content and be something that they're not, because they're not graphic artists like me. They're not videographers like me. They're not photographers like me. You know what I mean? So I live in that world. I do all those things professionally. Okay, in case you're not familiar with me. But what everybody can do, and frankly should do, and what I even am guilty of not doing enough of, I've made this rule very clear many, many times. I've been saying this for years. If you had to pick between creating content and making comments, you'd be much smarter just making the comments.
Not even close.
Yeah, it's not even close. It's like
it doesn't even matter what platform. See, people don't realize I drive about 60 to 100 people a day. Okay, from Facebook to the serviceprofessionalsnetwork.com. Okay. 60 to 100 of them a day. And what's different for me than most people that do this type of work, okay, is I track everything. I know where you're coming from. I can tell whether or not you clicked a link from my Facebook page or if you came through my profile, right? If you came through my profile, okay, I know it's because I made a comment somewhere on some news channel or some big political page or something that was already viral. And then I got people to go from that comment to my Facebook profile, and then they see my link, and you know what I mean? Look, let's share this real quick.
Well, let me explain this comments thing real quick. All right, let's say you have 500 followers or 500 connections on a platform. Doesn't matter which one, any of them. Okay. Let's say you make a post. How many people do you think are going to actually see that post? Maybe 1,000, maybe 10,000. Let's be generous and say 100,000 people, right? Which you'd be pretty good if you have 500 folks and you get 100,000 views. You're more likely going to see like 500 to 1,000. Okay. Now you go and instead of taking 15 minutes to craft that post, let's say in that same 15-minute period, you went and made 5 comments. That's one for every 3 minutes. And you went to a couple people that had 3 million followers or 6 million followers or 200,000 followers, and you made some comments on those posts. And let's say those posts are being seen by anywhere from 100,000 to 2 million people each, right? Now that comment that you made has so much more visibility potential than the post. That's the strategy behind it. You multiply this out. You go, okay, if I'm doing 80% of that, where I'm making these comments on people with huge circulation views, if you add value and you start getting people to respond, and now you're one of the top comments on one of these posts for a post that's going to be seen by 1 million people, is going to have comments usually somewhere in the 10,000 range. Okay. So if you can become one of the top comments in one of those posts and be seen by the majority of the people viewing the post, that's like buying a neon sign in the middle of the Mojave Desert along Highway 15. You're going to get a lot of traffic to go by and see it, and it's neon, so it's going to catch attention. Or you could have like a single lamp, like the lamp on your cell phone on the middle of a residential street, because that's the analogy I want you to consider.
And it's a light bulb that's going out.
Yeah, and the super highway versus the residential driveway is the difference here between a comment on a major post versus a post by somebody who has no traffic.
I do a little bit different strategy too than Ira throughout a big part of the day, right? Is I will chase the big people with big followings, but also delete them like crazy because sometimes they bother me, right? I will tell you that if you spend your day making value added comments on smaller accounts with smaller followings too, they will appreciate it. They will send you more of their friends than the person with 1 million followers may. So there's different ways to go about this, okay? Where you're not going to grow is if you're making the same 12 comments on the same post every day by the same people, right? 100%. So like
you got to
there's a lot of people that I love on LinkedIn, but they're going to see a lot less of me in their feeds because they're posting the same thing every day. And my commenting on that hurts my brand because, like
you look like you're unoriginal.
Well, not only does it make me feel like I'm unoriginal and appear to be unoriginal to other people, right? But it starts making you seem like you're just like you're just phony, right? And I don't want to be phony. Like,
and let's just put it where it is. You're a part of a quote unquote pod, which doesn't help anybody either. Let me address this question real quick that we got up on the screen. This is actually not a bad question, but it's actually not even the right question. Let me help you with the right question here, Petrie, because first of all, I will answer your question directly. Not very many people have 1 million followers on LinkedIn. I was just in a ranking by I don't want to butcher his name, so I'm not going to say it. Okay, a guy in Australia did a ranking. I was 137th on the list. I was on the same list as Bill Gates and Simon Sinek and all these famous people. Frankly, they're really famous. I'm not famous at all.
No.
Right? You know what I mean? So it's humbling to be on that same list, but it shows you how shallow LinkedIn is when it comes to quote unquote million people with 1 million followers. I don't know how many they have. If they have 1,000 of them in total, there's not very many.
Well,
It's certainly, but hang on a second. Certainly, there's a lot. It's under 1/10% have 1 million followers. But
yeah, I
here's
mean,
the
it's still a lot of people, but it's not like a percentage.
yeah. Well, and a lot of those people that have those large followings are being followed by the same people. It's not even they're sycophants. They go and they follow all the large accounts. But here's the thing that most people don't consider. When you're picking your social media strategy as a business, I hear this every single day, and I have to educate people every single day. So I want to bring this up. All right. LinkedIn is your favorite place. If you're here watching this show, I get it. But it's your favorite place to consume. It should not necessarily be your favorite place to produce.
Those are two different things.
They're very much two different things. And
people don't separate those topics.
No, they need to. They really need to. And I need to educate this. And this is something that I've been championing for the last year.
I mean, you've been on TikTok preaching about TikTok long before everyone. People are starting to finally get that you can advertise on TikTok, and you should, because that's where people are spending their time.
Now you for 10 minutes too. Like before, it was 60 seconds. It was 60 seconds, and then it was 3 minutes, and now it's 10 minutes.
You can do a 10-minute TikTok.
You can do a 10-minute TikTok now.
Oh, no! Everyone knows I like to talk, so I'll be up there. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna. You know what? That's gonna hurt you and Ride with catching up with me, because you know what I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna go tell 7 or 8 minute stories.
Stop. Let's not get sidetracked. There's a very important point here that we need to go all the way through completion. And Brady, good morning. I want you talking about 2 minutes. The thing about the 760 million people on TikTok is not that there's 760 million people. Where do you sell to, and who are you trying to reach? Because when I talk to most people, they go, I don't want to do business in India. I don't want to do business in Africa. I don't want to do business in China. I don't want to do business in the UK. I don't want to do business in Mexico. I don't want to do business in Canada. Great. So how many people do you want to do business with? Oh, I want to do business with the 800 million people on LinkedIn. No, you don't. Because of the 760 million people that are on LinkedIn, only 23% of them are from the United States. So let me ask you again, how many people you want to reach and where you want to be. Because if you really want to reach American adults, what is the number one platform to be on for that? It isn't LinkedIn. You know which one it is? 81% of American adults have YouTube, which, by the way, has over 1 billion users. And it's the number 2 search engine in the world. So again, when people, they have this thing in their mind that doesn't match reality. And they're kind of snobby about it, frankly. They go, oh, I'm only on LinkedIn. I don't like any other platforms. Well, great. If you're here to entertain
Talk about limited thinking.
But if you're here to entertain yourself only, great. Then that's what you should do. But if you're here telling me that I want to grow my business and expand my reach and I want to get my message out to the right audience, quote unquote. I'm saying that sarcastically, but I hear this every single day. I want to reach the right audience. Don't you dare talk to anybody in India, man. Don't you dare talk to anybody in Nigeria. God forbid talk to anybody.
You're getting feedback for some reason.
Yeah, you hear what I'm saying? You guys are out there saying the exact opposite things, and you don't even realize it because you're uneducated. I'm trying to educate you here. I'm not trying to be rude, right? I'm trying to educate you. This is what I call, fatherly advice. All right. If you really want to reach American adults and you don't have a YouTube channel going, you're making a huge mistake. To that end, what Mike was going on with the TikTok. Why am I building my network on TikTok? Is because TikTok was the #1 downloaded app in 2019 and 2020. I'm sorry, 2020 and 2021. 2 years in a row, it was the #1 downloaded app. It is the #1 used website by volume in the world. It outpaces Google. It outpaces Amazon. There are more people on TikTok every single day than any other website. And it's not even close. It hasn't been close for a while. So, again, I ask you, who are you trying to reach? You got to start with the end objective. Remember when I was talking about my TED Talk And this is why it's going to be in there, because so many people have this hard on for LinkedIn, which I love LinkedIn too. Totally get it. But the fact is, if I was only doing business with people inside the United States, then LinkedIn would not be the number one place to find them. It
Well,
would be a good place to find them, but not the number one place to find them.
here's the thing, right? It's all about know your audience. And what most people think, right, is that you only have to be selling business to business on LinkedIn, right? But when people are on LinkedIn, they're not really trying to buy anything. They're trying to sell things. So, if you want somebody to buy your service or pay attention to your service, you have to get them when their guard is down, and you have to be creative about it, and you have to do it within that 7 seconds or that 10-second window. So oftentimes the person that may not buy from you on LinkedIn will buy from you on TikTok or somewhere else because they're not in that frame of mind of selling.
But if you can get somebody to know, like, and trust you, they'll buy from you wherever they are. And that's the whole point. Social media, you guys got to watch TikTok. Social media, a lot of people you're doing it wrong. You're doing it like you're doing your email spam campaign, and people don't like that either. Why do your email campaigns not work? Because you send them out this pre-written list to strangers that you buy. You're buying these lists from somebody saying, well, here is my avatar. My avatar is all these demographics. You give them the demographics. They send you a list, and what do? You start sending them out spam emails. Those people have never heard of you before. They've never heard of your company before. So they don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you. And frankly, you could be giving away the cure to cancer and they wouldn't even read your email because they don't know you. But you guys are trying to do the same crap on social media, trying to make posts and pitch. There's no rapport building. There's nothing water cooler.
And I did it too.
Right. Well, a lot of people made that. A lot of people have made that mistake. And frankly, before 2018, I was doing the same thing. Okay. So we all can be victims of this, but
I was doing it in 2015, 2016.
But you don't have to stay there, right? The point of the show: watch this show, get educated, learn, and then do stuff better. And that's when the TED Talk. I'm giving away a master class on how to use LinkedIn in 15 minutes on the TED Talk. I'm not getting paid a dime for the talk. In fact, I'm paying my own way to get out to Wilmington, Delaware, so I can, you know what I mean? I'm gonna pay for travel and stuff for 3 days so that I can give away, these quote unquote secrets that shouldn't be a secret in my opinion. But no one's paying me to do it. I'm giving it away. I'm helping you guys right here. If you will take it right now. If you spend more time talking about how you help as opposed to trying to, read off a brochure and treat it like an old PR campaign. But then also, inflation is a big thing right now. It's a hot topic, right? Inflation. The price of everything's going up. Milk is up 40 cents week over week per gallon. It's up 40 cents per gallon over what it was last week. That's a huge increase. That doesn't sound, it sounds like it's 40 cents. That's a lot of money for one product to go up in cost in just 1 week. The cost of gas in California, I'm paying close to $5. And I saw in Portland, Oregon, they're paying over $6 a gallon right now for gas. Well, just a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, if you go back, the price of gas 2 years ago was $2 and some odd cents per gallon for the national average in the United States. It's gone up 200% in less than 2 years. I'm not going to talk about why. Hopefully y'all are smart enough to figure it out. But I can tell you that I see posts from both political parties that I know that people haven't figured this out. But anyways, inflation is a hot topic. So if you want to talk about something right now that people they're going to respond to. They have skin.
Well, you see a lot of people talking about Ukraine that way too.
Right. And Ukraine's another one.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on people that talk about Ukraine. I stand with Ukraine. I don't care if you're using it to build. I don't care if you're leeching off their suffering to build your personal brand. If that's what you want to do, go ahead, market yourself, right? But as long as people are pushing that hashtag and putting it out there, I think it's a good thing because it's raising awareness, right? But here's the thing. When you jump on these hot topics, you have to remember in all things, whether you're commenting on a hot topic or an everyday thing, you're always building your brand.
That's the whole point.
You're always painting the picture. So if you're doing,
let's say you sell tires, Mike. You sell good. You sell Goodyear tires. Your company sells Goodyear tires, and you only sell it to people in, let's say, Indiana. Okay, you sell Goodyear tires, Indiana. So why would I want to talk about inflation or the Ukraine or talk to somebody from India or from Nigeria or from, California? Well, the reason why is most people don't understand how LinkedIn works. And this is what you and I talked about in 2018. This is what opened my eyes. What we specifically focused on was the power of first, second, and third level connections. That's what we talked about for 2+ hours. We lost Brady.
I removed him from the stream. I'll let him back on. I'm not trying to be rude with anybody, but why come up on here and start brushing your teeth or doing your pills or whatever? I know that I'm trying to get you to introduce the guy for a minute or so, but you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about hot topics. Nobody wants to watch the guy.
That's my bad. Brady's my brother.
No, we're gonna invite the guy back on. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but come on, we're watching the guy brush his teeth and stuff.
I should have paused and introduced him, but I got on this vein.
Well, I'm gonna start using that hold up sign on you.
It's fine.
Hey Brady, how you doing?
Brady, sorry brother, I got on a little bit of a rant there.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, sorry about that. I was getting ready to go to work.
No,
I couldn't get my headset to work. For some reason, it keeps dropping me.
I appreciate you tuning in. And I'm sorry, I was muting you a little bit. We're having a little bit of problems with the mic.
I was trying to get a hold of Brady last night. I was running the camera.
Brady, I think this is the first time we've got to talk. You want to take a minute to let everyone know who you are, what you do, and how we can build a win-win with you?
I'm just an average Joe trying to muddle through this life and, buy a hamburger at the end of the day. Install cameras professionally for Ralph's Grocery. Well, not Ralph's, but Kroger. So I get to see all the moms and the children being dragged around inside the store trying to figure out how to make a buck, stretch. But trying to catch those slip and falls and people running out with doors with full grocery carts of stuff that they haven't paid for.
Well, that sounds like an interesting job. You get to watch everybody.
And I get to point the camera and let them watch it.
Gotcha.
So I just got to make sure the cameras are clean and, they collect dust. So you start seeing, white inside the lenses. And
I never even thought about that. You gotta get up there every so often and clean them out, huh?
Yeah. Usually when you start seeing the front end is all dusty, you'll see cameras next to air vents. But your camera will look washed out. So it just got way too many highlights. You can't see the faces. You walk up there, pop a lens out and clean it and pop it back on. And it takes a night to do it on a scissor lift.
Excellent. Well, let me ask you, what brings you on the show today?
You said come on the show.
Fair point.
Yeah, you guys you're having a good chat yesterday or the day before yesterday. So I figured I'd pop on and say hi and let everybody see my beautiful locks.
Well, I appreciate it. I hope you have yourself a great day, and thanks for joining the chat.
Not a problem. You guys enjoy your day. And
you going to LA today, brother?
Oxnard, Camarillo. So probably 3 hours away from where I'm at now.
Well, that's a lot of driving.
Yeah, all over Southern California, and they sent me to Kansas for like a month at a time.
55 miles, but you're in LA, so there you go.
it takes an hour to get to LA, but if you don't time it right, it's 3. Same thing getting out.
My mom wanted to fly into Burbank, Brady, and she goes, "Is that close by?" I said, "Well, yeah, it's 80 miles. It'll be about 3 hours to get there." She goes, "Really? At what time of day?" I said, "Pretty much any time of day. It's too far. You got to go through too many freeways."
Well, too many freeways and too many traffic and too much traffic.
That's the thing. You get it, 80 miles in LA freeways. You're going to do a couple things. You're going to go through some road work and you're going to go through some accidents. It just doesn't happen. So
yeah, I kind of like preferring to work at night because there's no traffic. So I save more time personally than I do, on the company dime.
We're gonna have to come up with some magnets for people.
Magnet
project help you. I'm just joking because you guys spend so much time on the road. Morning, George.
I don't really.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys?
Doing good.
George, good morning, brother.
Hey, Ira, how are you?
I feel bad because poor Brady had to do his whole morning routine there, and we got you right to talk. And so, George,
sorry.
Thanks. No, it's our bad as host.
I got off on tangent I wanted to explain.
Hey, I want to get back to that, and George is a good segue to that because George, I'm going to let you do an intro if you want to introduce yourself to people. Let us know how to build a win-win with you, what you're trying to do, and then we're going to talk a little bit about how we can help you along there.
And
Right,
I
I appreciate that.
painting you got.
Bye, Brady.
By the way,
I appreciate you
you,
stopping
Brady.
on.
George, that
Excuse me?
painting behind you is pretty cool, man. I
Oh,
like that.
thank you. Yeah, you know,
I'm
I
a
like
color guy,
the
so
creative color scheme. So
Okay, everyone officially has a better background than me. I get it, Ira.
well, your wall is like the color of my face, so it's not.
I need a painting. Okay.
right. Nah, but I'll start my introduction. So my name is George Asafo J. Ex-Giants player, now in the tech field, building softwares. I have a big vision for my LLC Genie, which owns Groove Club.
Big doesn't even begin to describe it, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ira. Major.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
God's blessing is definitely with us. So I believe we're going to do great things. Basically about Groove Club. I don't know if I hear like a little choppiness. I'm not sure if that's.
I don't know if that's your mic or if that's.
I got a brand new mic, so I know it's not me this time.
Yeah, it was me. I had the other stream in the background, the live, so it was making it choppy. Yeah, but anyways, Groove Club is my app where we're essentially digitalizing the whole services industry and storefront model. So we're allowing the storefront to be digitalized, therefore allowing businesses to grow any way they want. They can deliver services to clients' homes and vice versa, which is the whole point of the app. It allows clients to easily book services of all kinds to their home or easily book it at that business location. So that's what Groove Club does. We're eventually gonna get more clients, but we're more focused on bringing businesses, bringing the individual service provider, employees, etc. So, that's where we are with Groove Club. And that's one of the many projects in the pipeline.
Well, George, I know you and Ira have been speaking quite a bit. You and I originally met through one of these chats or through some type of networking. I sent you over to Ira. I know he's as impressed as I am about your app. Basically, you're in the same position the Service Professionals Network is in a lot of ways, right? You have a really great idea and it can provide a lot of value to people, but you're in the startup phase. And what's cool about you is you illustrate the point that somebody had brought up earlier about famous people. Not that you're, Tom Brady, no offense. Still struggling on social media, huh, Ira?
There's only one Tom Brady, so yeah.
Well, I mean, there's levels to everything, right? Fame and everything else, influence, right? And if you have an app and it has a great idea like Groove Club, right? You can still be big in whatever state, New York or wherever you're from, right? And still have trouble converting people over to the app because, like Ira was talking about earlier, everybody's so in love with LinkedIn or has tunnel vision in regards to Facebook or YouTube and a lot of people, they don't want to branch out on these apps, even if you are like their idol football player or your favorite actress or whatever, right?
Right.
Well, I think that people are going to start making the difference besides getting yourself out there. Well, I'm glad you're up here because you're introducing yourself to our networks, which is smart. More people are going to be more inclined to try out these new apps and websites as people start getting more success on different platforms like Alignable, Twitter, SPN and everywhere else, right? And what really comes down to is I noticed a big spike in users joining my website when they started making more money off of it, right? Because here's the thing, George. If I join your site, right, as a business owner, and I pay the $200, right, it's like a $200 fee or $300 fee a year.
Yeah, we discounted it now. We lowered it.
To what?
It's now $39
for the year.
More incentive for people to join businesses.
So if I'm a business, okay,
right,
I can pay you $39 and list my business on your website. I'll tell you what, George, I'm going to go list SPN on your website today. Not just because you joined it, but I'm going to go list SPN. I'll spend the $40. For $40, I mean, it comes
Sure.
a price point issue, right? You know what I mean? If you're charging $300 until you get the users, it doesn't really make sense as a business owner. $40, I spend $40 on lunch. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll go spend $40 to get my name.
And that's just for himself.
Shut up, Ira. It's because I'm gonna lie here. I'm gonna say it's because Virginia and Ed and everybody having me eating healthy food.
Right.
All right, let's not talk about eating anymore. You know,
Yeah.
what's up, Param? I hope you come up and join us. And Tavita, pleasure seeing you. You guys, the link to the shows, you know, in the comments. Come on up, come say hi. But we're gonna talk about Groove Club until you guys do. So you know, that's what it is. So George, if I'm a consumer, what does it cost me to join your website?
Right. So it's $39 for the individual provider or employee. And then for an actual business that will have employees and manage them and etc., it would be $99.
Well, no, let's say, okay, I want to go book an appointment for tanning or yoga, okay? Because I'm very secure in my sexuality, and I think that all men need to stretch and have good tans, okay? Maybe not you, but I need a good tan because I got if I don't get a tan, I got my complexion issues start showing up on my face. I got I don't look good on the camera. So if I want to book a tanning appointment or yoga for whatever reason, right? How do I do that through your website, and how much does it cost me, and can I do that?
Right. So basically you go on the app, you sign up for free. So it's free to sign up for all, you know, anyone that's a client worldwide.
So I'm a consumer. It doesn't cost me anything to use your app.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything to join.
Okay.
You go find your provider. What we do charge is a booking fee. So it's 10% of whatever the charge is. So if you're booking a $20 service, we charge $2.
Let's put this in perspective. Okay. I want to go out and get a tan, but I don't want to talk to anybody, right? I can go to your app, find a local tanning salon, spend an extra $2 or whatever, the 10% to book the appointment, not have to talk to anybody, boom. Do you have reward points or anything like that for me if I you know, use the app a lot?
Oh, yeah. We have reward points and we have referral points. So when you refer people, you get money, which, you know, goes for your next bookings.
Everybody likes money, so that makes sense. It's a good business move. So if I book things, I also get reward points, and like, so does that like translate to prices? Does that translate to like reduced costs and future bookings? Like, how does that work?
Right. It translates to reduced bookings on your future prices. So normally it'll be 10%. Once you reach a certain amount of bookings that you've booked, we'll reduce that by half. So
gotcha.
Now it's only $1 to book that same $20 service.
That seems like it makes pretty good sense. So I'm going to go to your website, grooveclub.com, right?
Right.
And then from there, I can easily find the apps, right? It's right there at the top. You can download either app there at the top.
Yeah, basically you download it from the website right there, either Apple or on Android.
Excellent. Thank you, Harry, for bringing that up.
I like Google's App Store name, Google Play. Come play.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, this looks like a cool app. I mean, the fact that it doesn't cost me anything to try it out definitely encourages me to want to try it out.
Right.
I'm a cheap ass as a business owner for $40. And, you know, to me, it's a no-lose investment. Like, George, let's cut through the crap, right? You're a fairly connected guy, right? But you're not the biggest guy on social media. So if I start using your app, you're going to know that I'm using your app personally, correct?
Right.
So for $40, I can get on your radar, which actually introduces me to a lot of your friends and connections, because that's how my mind works, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like if you want to be connected to a bunch of NFL football players and just be kind of weird about that, you can pay the $40 just to do that, right? Like, it doesn't matter why I pay the $40 to you, does it?
No.
All right. So, I mean, like, you know, I hate to make it weird, but that's what I do.
That'd be great. I would love for SPN to be on there.
If you don't know anything else today, if you don't learn anything else today, people know this. Mike O'Connor is a weird dude.
That's right. Fair warning. I consider that fair warning. Thank you, Ira. You know, so, I mean, we want people to know. So, I mean, when people, you know, get their head bitten off, they're not, you know, surprised. You know, this is George. I'm a big fan of boundaries. You just got to You know, especially like with guys that's shoulders the size of yours and Ed Carmody's. Okay, if for some reason I ever start to offend you, especially
He
for
was
the
an
same
offensive
word,
lineman, guys.
Yeah.
He's got big ass shoulders. Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
I believe in fair warning, George. Okay, I hope you do too.
Hey,
Just give me
I
fair
got
warning, brother. That's it. I'll pause.
Yeah.
If I'm walking down the street with two guys behind me, I hope it's George and Mike. I got an offensive lineman and an ex MMA fighter.
Right.
I'll help George if he gets in trouble, but I'm not
I'm
getting
gonna be all right.
Nah, no worries.
I'll be the little chihuahua in the front of my two Doberman pinchers behind
You'd
me.
be the guy getting us in trouble, George. That's
I
what
really
we'll do.
would.
Yeah, right.
I would talk all kinds of crap. I'd be like, "You want to mess with me? You see my?"
George, you got a bunch of kids?
Just as long as I turn around and they're still there, I'll be okay. You know what I mean?
George, you got some kids?
No, I don't.
You don't? No,
George, I got a question for you.
I'm not making a joke about you being happy.
Did you ever like?
Oh
Did you ever let somebody through because the quarterback was a little bit too cocky and needed to get knocked down? No, you never did that?
Nah.
Look at this guy. Look at him. Look, he looks. No offense to George here, you know, but like I get this big puppy dog feel. Like he's the guy I want protecting me. Like you can just see it in his face. He's
You know
like,
what?
no.
When I talked to George, it was a 2-hour conversation, and what he did was help strengthen the stereotype that offensive linemen are like super smart.
Well, that's why he's up here.
He's a very smart guy.
I appreciate it.
There's no doubt about it. And to your point, Mike, yeah, he's smart because one of the reasons you can tell he's up here. You guys that are sitting there in the audience and you're watching and you're playing along, and I'm just gonna say it kind of in a weird way, but straightforward. Why aren't you on this show? Like, if you're gonna sit there in the comments and talk and be a part of the show, get your butt on stage, because you're gonna get much more out of being on the show than just commenting. Now I understand some of you might be driving or you're multitasking and you can't be on the show. I get it. That happens.
Maybe I shouldn't have been so hard about the toothpaste thing, because I was kind of laughing at first. But the point, Ira, and I'm sorry to cut you off here, is George, I'm going to put grooveclub.com, okay, in this YouTube description, okay?
100%.
So you're going to get a backlink, okay, from my YouTube video, okay? As soon as this video gets done, okay, I'm going to go out. I'm going to spend $20, $30, maybe even a little bit more to broadcast it everywhere. So you just coming on here and being willing to talk to us, not only does it get people to see your face here and your personality here, not only do people get to start, hey, George is a likable guy. He's putting it with Mike and Ira. He hasn't, he's smiling the whole time, right?
Right.
You got to talk a little bit about your app, what it does, how it's going to benefit more people. You got at least my $39 coming. I got to check my bank account balance first.
Yeah.
He's got to buy lunch.
I got to buy lunch too, people. Look, I got to eat. My dimples are wearing away.
What we need is some ESPN sites so that Mike can eat.
Yeah, George, I need some NFL people to come on my site.
Right. I got
Help
you.
me out, brother. I'll help you, man. I'm having to ask.
Right, I got you.
Here's the thing, guys. You can come up here, have a little bit of fun. You can get your link out there in front of people. I'm going to be tagging George now and more posts moving forward. I may even tag Brady because, you know what? I might have been a little bit angry that the guy came up here and started brushing his teeth. But you know what I like about that, Ira?
You know what I think he was doing, actually? I thought, this is how I took it. I think those toothbrushes, because I said 2 minutes. And he's like, I got an idea. This toothbrush goes for 2 minutes. I think that's probably what he was thinking.
Well, either way, okay. I mean, you were making the guy wait, and I was a little bit on me for a second. Everybody knows I'm a little bit bipolar.
So just so you guys know, Brady,
I respect the guy. I'm going to send that guy a connection request. I don't want to wash and brush his teeth again, but I get the point. I had
Brady is a blue collar dude that
I like that.
I work with Brady at church. He runs.
That makes sense. Okay.
He runs the sound and visual team at church. I work in his ministry underneath. You know what I mean? But he and I are like.
Well, I hope I didn't get you in trouble at church.
No, but Brady and I are very similar in a lot of ways. Like, my kids call us twin brothers. They think we're like the same guy. So in fact, sometimes people walk up and they think they're talking to Brady. They start talking to me like I'm Brady. I don't know if they do that to him in reverse. Like if they come thinking they're talking to me. Hang on a second. We can't do the bed thing.
Hold on. Sorry, we can't do the bed thing. Sorry. If you get off the bed, we'll have you back on here. So,
all right, guys.
Hold on, George.
Look, if you come on my show and you're laying down, you're not staying on the show. I don't know what you're doing.
Well, so George, I don't know if you've seen past episodes, right? But we have a safe word now. It's
Mango.
Oh man.
Mango's either one, right?
Uh-huh.
And the reason being is because some guy was on their bed and he had a really big grin, bigger than ours, right? And the bed started shaking for 8 minutes, and Ira was in one of his tangents. And I was trying to, Ira and I both take turns doing tangents at the weirdest times, right? So we developed a safe word.
We're on a show that goes 90 minutes, sometimes 2 hours, and so an 8-minute. There you go.
He's off the bed.
I love it.
No offense to you, Petrie, but somebody ruined the bed thing for everybody.
Yeah, if you're laying down, you gotta
crazy.
Sit up because.
Yeah, I didn't know. Sorry, Ira.
No.
I didn't know the rules.
We're not calling it the Scott rule.
Look, before that happened, I would have never thought anything about it. And honestly, when it was happening, I didn't really think about it. But I watched the show back later, and I was like, I don't even know. I wanted to gouge my eyeballs out. I was
mortified.
Wow.
There was like 6 of us on the screen, right?
Yeah, it was not good.
And he was the one running the show. I wasn't running the stream. So I'm running the stream today so I can take people off the thing, right?
Okay. I understand now, yeah.
Well,
don't do it.
It not what you were just laying down. I'm not saying anything, but the other guy.
He wasn't.
There was something going on. Now, he could have just been shaking his feet. I mean, who knows? But that's the point. We don't know, and it looked really creepy. So we had to.
He got banned from LinkedIn, I think.
I said, yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we had 2 people in 2 weeks in a row get banned from LinkedIn on this show, and I'm thankful it wasn't me.
So that's why Mike and I came up with Mango. It's like because Mango's not normally going to come into the conversation at all. So if you hear the word Mango, it's like, hey, whatever you're saying, stop. There's somebody doing something that.
Wow.
We don't want to lose our show. I mean, honestly, we could lose the rest.
I was mortified.
Yeah.
No,
So,
you're right.
Petrie, thanks for joining us. I appreciate you. We want to tell people who you are, what you do, and how we can build a win-win.
And I love the beanie, bro. I gotta tell you, I love it. Hang on, I'm gonna grab mine.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, we lost George.
A button as well. So I'm Petri. I'm from Finland. I'm here to defend the eastern border against Mr. Putin, Russia. We are next to, Russia, Finland.
So you're right on the border?
No, I'm not. I'm Helsinki, it's our capital, but I'm just kidding. So we had a battle with Russia 90 years ago, and we made it good. So I'm rooting for Ukraine, even if you guys talk that it's funny to see how people are talking about Ukraine overall, and some are using it as a benefit and some not. And
well, here's the thing, Petrie. My dad lives in the Ukraine. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, really. He lives in Nikolaev, which is just outside of it. So where some people are talking about Ukraine, they have nothing to do with Ukraine. They're just using it.
Yeah, exactly.
For whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But someone who wants to legitimately talk about Ukraine, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I am standing as staunchly as I can with Ukraine. In fact, I just increased some business that I'm doing with a business partner that is in Kyiv. And in fact,
I started using them because
the way that I pay them, I just had to change the way I pay them because the PayPal and stuff isn't working right now because of the way the banking system is being overrun. So I had to figure out another way to get them their money. But I'm doing everything I can to support Ukraine. I posted about Ukraine before the war started, and I let everybody know that World War III was about to start. And anyway, I mean, it is what it is. Mike and I did a whole show about Ukraine.
I'm willing to talk about Ukraine at every opportunity. So, Petrie, I really appreciate you getting on there. Obviously,
but you asked me a question.
My prayers are with you and the people of Finland.
No. We are doing fine. My son is 19.
Here's the thing, right? You don't know what that psychopath is going to do next. You know what I mean?
Finland just applied, I think, to be part of the EU too. Yeah.
We are in the EU, but now there's a big discussion about NATO. But I could tell you about what I'm doing now. So
let's do it.
for 2 years roughly, I've been building this data community, one world, one people, one data, and hooking up with the data stars of the world coming from the north. So I guess I'm the king of data of the north, building something like that. And then I just popped that, Ira, your show, or is it Mike's show, out of curiosity to what you guys are doing. I'm now running a book club.
So tell us more about the data. What are you doing with the data? Because that is something that Mike and I might be able to participate in.
Well, you know,
Email addresses or?
as my profession, I'm a kind of leader of digital transformation. I've been in kind of Finnish world-class companies for 20 plus years, and I did this data gig for, let's say, 20 years ago or something like that. And then I thought, 15 years ago, let's put it better. And then I thought that I never go back to data because it's not the sexiest thing in the world, because it's pretty tedious and, you know, and so forth. But then I had a startup on AI 2017, or co-founding something like that. And there was an opportunity to go to corporate on data again, and I took it. But at the same time, I was thinking that the data guys are too far away from the business. So I wanted to start to kind of act on behalf of all the chief data officers in the world in a way to say that, hey, we don't need to make it so goddamn difficult with the data, because it's the future.
I say,
they call me the chocolate guy, because I've got chocolate. So I made maybe 300 deliveries of chocolate bars in the data community, mostly inside my company, but also elsewhere, because you need to find ways to tell a story. And if you always go inside the
Hey, do you have a website that we can bring up?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I'm doing this for the time being.
Here's what I would love to do. I would love to get more information about how and what you're doing, so that I can see if we can incorporate it into, you know, SPN or into Project Help You Grow or into Bowman Digital Media, or maybe all three. Yeah. Would be awesome. We try to keep these intros to 60 to 90 seconds, so we're getting a little bit long, so we're gonna have to wrap it up. But you're in data.
Thanks, Ira. Thanks, Mike. Let's get engaged.
And you can stay and talk. We can have a conversation. Like, for example, I've never been to Finland. Finland is pretty far north. So right now, what is the temperature like in Finland?
I'm in the Helsinki area, which is south. So today was maybe -2, which is like 32 Fahrenheit or 34 Fahrenheit, something like that. But then when you go up north, it's maybe 10, -15. The next 2 months, if you fly over, borders are open, it will be perfect, because the weather starts to get warmer, and in Lapland, there's only sunshine. I promise you. And if it rains, I kind of bring you a lamp that says sunlight or something like that.
For those of you watching, Fahrenheit in Celsius, 0 Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So
32. Yeah. I went 32. So
it's okay. So when you're at -2, you're just a little bit under 32.
Yeah. So it's like 30. Yeah.
Well, it's.
Yeah,
I was 43 years old today when I heard that.
Oh.
Well, where they actually come together is -41. -41 Celsius is the same as -41 Fahrenheit.
Because it's absolute zero, right?
Yeah.
I'm a freaking nerd, guys. In case anybody's curious,
I'm pretty sure everyone's aware by now.
Yeah. You should probably get aware. Anyways, so what? All right.
We never actually talked about
32 degrees. I'm not going outside. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, but it's
32 degrees. That's probably like 0 for you. 0 is not too bad, or.
I'm going to speak at the Master Data Marathon 4.0, which is then hosted by Scott Dale at the Data Whisperer. And I made a promo video, kind of, that I'm coming to speak in the free. Well, how do you call it? We call it Avanto. So there's a hole in the ice, and then you go swimming.
Oh no!
I'll hook you up on that video, so you can.
Are you gonna wear a wetsuit, or are you gonna go just?
No. I did it already. It was just a teaser, so it's less than a minute, and it's out there in YouTube, so I'll put the link there somewhere for you.
Do me a favor.
Yeah, send me that link, bro.
Well, no. Don't send him that link. Go post it on my website.
No, that's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the link and I'm going to post it on SPN for sure.
Yeah, and you know how we did it actually was that there was because, like I said, I believe that all the companies will be data-driven companies in the future.
Yeah.
So this video,
so I'll send it soon. So
this video, sorry to cut you off. It's on YouTube.
Yeah. No, it's on LinkedIn. It was posted by the organizer, Think Linkers.
Oh, well, I was trying to have a nice segue to talk about YouTube playlists because that's what.
Yeah, but that's where it belongs. But anyway, we made it so that there's a kind of my company, which is making paper machines and things like that. And there's a construction company who does buildings. And we made a benchmark of how to manage data, and it's all the same for every company. And then we made this fun introduction video where I'm in the ice, swimming in the icy water and giving the brief, and my colleague is
nothing about that sounds fun to me.
It is, yeah, but he's next to a fireplace and eating some chocolate, and so we made it a fire and ice because we are co-speaking at the event. So I'll send the link. Should be fun.
All you crazy people jumping in the ice.
We are, yeah.
So Ira, we were going to talk about YouTube playlists. It's one of the things.
Yeah, what we want to do, Peter.
But hey, I need to jump out soon, so
I appreciate you jumping on, sir. I'll send you an invite. I hope you have a great day.
Yeah, welcome to Finland. I host you.
I hope to be there. Be safe.
Awesome.
All right.
That would be awesome. Well, yeah, let's do that, Mike. Let's hop over to YouTube if you want to share your screen. And okay, guys, if you're watching what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. We've been talking about Instagram strategies. We've been talking about TikTok. We've been talking about YouTube. And this is something that came up because Mike goes, hey, Ira, you're not doing this. I'm not doing this. I need to. And a
lot of people aren't doing it. See,
well, that's the thing. I figure if I'm not doing it, a lot of people aren't doing it. So let's give them a lesson and add some value. So we already talked about it. YouTube is the #1 used social media platform for American adults. If you're watching this and you run a business, 81% of American adults have YouTube and use YouTube. So you should have a YouTube channel for your business. And if you're going to have a channel and if you're going to put up videos, what Mike's about to show you is called a playlist. And the reason why you want to do it is because when the video that they were watching for your current video is over, what they see next is determined by if you have a playlist or not. So if you create these playlists, you can get them when it's over to maybe start watching the next video as opposed to one from your competitor or something about some other topic. So it helps to carry the conversation forward beyond the current video. Let's say they're watching a 30-second video, but the next one's an hour long. And they might have stepped away from their computer or whatever, and it just runs. So you get more playtime. I mean,
it happens all the time. And I do that strategy a lot. So here's the thing. I've built YouTube channels. I've built social media networks for audiences for different people. My channel is not new people, okay, on YouTube, but it's not been used very much over the last couple of years because I've been building the serviceprofessionalsnetwork.com website.
Yeah.
I got challenged, not necessarily just by Ira, but by several people to expand my reach on YouTube, Instagram, and a few other different channels. For many different reasons. So I decided to take my YouTube channel a little bit more seriously.
Why? Because it's good for me. The bigger you get everywhere, it's good for me. That's why.
Well, it's good for everybody. Like if I'm neglecting my YouTube channel, serviceprofessionalsnetwork.com isn't going to be as big as it can be. And if I'm not highlighting people or introducing people on LinkedIn, it's not going to be as big as it can be, right? So I started looking at Ira's channel. He's got 10,000. I started looking at a few other people who I'm not going to name because I don't, want to badmouth or embarrass anybody for doing things differently than I do or not, doing some of the things that they should be doing, right? But with these playlists, like, for example, I had this video that I shot with Scotty Schindler a couple years ago, and it just made me feel like I am not doing things quite right, right? I remember I felt like I was off. I felt like I was manic, and I felt like I swore too much, right? We made that video June 18th, 2019. And I remember afterwards, Scotty looked at me. He's like, are you going to edit that? Are you going to post it live? I'm like, yeah, let it rip, see what happens, right? So then I drop it in this playlist Okay. And 2 years later, as you see, I got 1,100 views on it. And the average watch time is about 30 minutes, right? That's because it's in a playlist with these other videos that are here, right? And you'll see some of these networking videos, the average watch time is 1:53. And then some of the other chats are, 12 or 13 minutes, right? And then if you see the SPN login video, it's 35 seconds long, 3,000 different viewers, right? Well, I have that strategically placed a few times in different playlists, right? And to make a playlist on YouTube, you just go over to your studio, you just see playlists right here. And right now I only got one playlist with 11 videos in it. And you can make as many playlists as you want. You can put different videos in different playlists, okay? But these playlists are what generates a lot of my views throughout LinkedIn, right? And you can kind of see the order that they're put in. So I just kind of put them in randomly, and then I mix them up, long videos, short videos. I bet you if I mix in some of these shorter videos with some of the longer ones, like more of the networking ones, I'll actually increase my playing time. So just from looking at it here while I'm talking to you guys, I realize there's a few different things I want to do, including making more additional playlists.
Yeah, so can you hit that new playlist button? Let's build one real quick.
Okay, we can do that. Hold on 1 second. What's funny is I'm on the wrong screen here. So we'll go ahead and do new playlist. And what should we call this new playlist?
Let's call it Networking with Mike and Ira's playlist.
You know what? Yeah, hold on. Speed Networking with Mike and Ira.
And then on this one, let's just to put the speed networking shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
because look, guys, you could do this by topic. You could do like, let's say you have, I'm doing one. I already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these TikTok videos that I've made and I'm going to put them up as a series on YouTube.
Now I wonder if I can put your videos. I'm gonna have to figure this out later because I don't want to look like an idiot doing this because I haven't made a playlist in a while. But I'm gonna see if I can put your playlist or your videos on speed.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, so, I wonder if we should be able to do that, right? We'll have to figure that out. Maybe we'll talk about that next week.
I think you can.
Yeah, we'll definitely figure it out.
Okay, so now the playlist there is created, but how do we add? Let's show them how to add a video.
You know what? That's one thing I'm gonna have to go back and figure out myself, to be honest.
Yeah,
because I haven't made a playlist. I just add all my videos to that playlist, and then every once in a while, like if I feel
when you're loading the video up, that's when you're adding it to the playlist.
Okay, so this video is live, right? Yeah. And it's gonna go do its thing. Yep. Later, when I go back to edit the video, I'll add in the links to our websites, and then that's when I put it on the SPN playlists, and then I'll mix it in. Now, some of them I'll leave on the playlist, and some of them I don't. Usually the shorter videos do really well on the playlist, right?
All right, so I make educational videos all the time, how-to videos. I'm going to make a step-by-step how to do this so you guys can see it as I do it.
100%. And going back to Ukraine and Instagram, like, like comments, engagement, no matter who you're doing, how you're building it, right? It's a good thing. Don't let people deter you from hiring services like Iris or other people that build engagement because so and so said it's a bad idea, right?
Let me talk about that real fast.
Yeah.
Everybody has core skills, talents, things that they love to do, and everybody has things that they're either not good at or it's just like they might be really good at it, but they hate it. They don't enjoy it. So in life, time is money. The one thing that you can't buy more of is time. Everything else is a commodity that you can get more of, even money. Okay. So when I launched Bowman Digital Media, right out of the very first thing I did was I hired an accountant to take care of my books and to take care of my taxes. Why? Because I knew for a fact.
He was smarter than I am.
I knew for a fact if I was trying to do my books, and first of all, just so you guys understand, I took accounting classes in college, so it's not like I don't understand something about accounting. I have a pretty good understanding about accounting, but I'm not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. But frankly, I don't enjoy it either. So like, I'm going to be stressed out about money all the time. I'm going to be worrying if I'm doing the deductions right, claiming the stuff right, filing the stuff, all that. Look, I didn't want to deal with it. So
we'd be more responsible.
Was hire it. And what did that allow me to do? It freed me from the responsibility of the books and allowed me to focus on the things that I enjoy, that I'm good at, so that I can make more money. Now, if you go to any of these like exit your way type trainings, or anybody who does, business consulting, one of the things that they're going to tell you is you got to delegate. And a lot of us don't think about it this way, but that's really what you're talking about. Here's delegation. What things do you have to do as a business owner, or in your situation, to further your mission, to accomplish your goals? And what things can you get other people to do for you?
Whether you're doing it for free or you're paying them, you need other people.
At Bowman Digital Media, what we do is we help build digital audience for people and drive website traffic. We do it in 6 ways. We do social media management, website development, graphic design, photography, videography, and search engine optimization. Those are the different categories that we offer at my company. People hire us to do those things, not only because some of them can't do it, but sometimes it's because they don't want to do it, and sometimes because they don't have the time to do it. But we take care of that stuff for them so they can do whatever they're good at, whether that's an attorney or a coach. Groove Club is one of the people we're looking at bringing on board. He's actually not a client yet, but he's looking at coming on board. We just signed a property management. They're a condo association management. They do finances for homeowners associations. We have all kinds of different clients. Okay. They don't have to worry about their social media. They don't have to worry about their SEO. They don't have to worry about, creating graphics. Why? Because they've hired us to do it. And that frees them up to do what they are good at. Engagement, if you want to hire somebody to help you write content, or you want to hire somebody to interact with your post, whatever.
Or you want to join a pod.
Whatever you want to do, if it frees you up to do what you do better, that's fine. Look, the only standard, the only threshold should really be, is it ethical? Is it legal? And do you feel good about it?
100%. Right?
If
legal,
you're
criticizing the way I do things, and I'm not harming anybody else, or I'm not like in any way bothering the way your world works or revolves, right, in any way whatsoever, I don't want to hear your criticism. I don't want to hear your negative feedback. If you want to come pay some of my bills, right? If you want to put food on my table, if you want to feed one of Ira's 8 children, or pay some of their hospital bills or insurance bills or whatever bills he's got, right?
College. Hello.
At that point, maybe we'll listen to what you have to say. But in the meantime, like, you got to look at it this way. Social media and the internet is what it is. Like, you're inviting yourself to the whole world, right? We don't make the rules. We don't set up. Well, maybe I do on the Service Professionals Network, right? But my point is, these other platforms, they have pods. They have companies doing the marketing. They have people working together, both for free and cost.
Right? Well, there's organic traffic and there's paid traffic.
Well, let's be honest, right? Every system in the world today is pay to play for a large part of the, you know what I mean? Like, you go to Lineable, you got to spend, I don't know, $20-$30 a month to send out like 10 or 15 connections, right? On LinkedIn, if you want to be seen, you got to use premium, or you got to, work together. You got to spend time engaging with people, right? And if you don't want to spend that time engaging with people, you got to hire somebody else that will. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah. Look, again, it's top of mind. So not every business owner has hours a day to make comments, make posts, study the algorithm. And you can spend, we haven't even talked about this thing called bounce rate, which is why I'm not a huge fan of PPC.
Not a huge fan of what?
PPC, the pay-per-clicks. I
haven't been a big fan of that in a long time, because, like, let's be honest, your competition is clicking those ads. Most times they're not.
Here's the main problem with it, right? Pay-per-click is, it increases your visibility. Mm-hmm. But the problem with a lot of those clicks is bounce rate. The 80%, 90% bounce rates. So you're paying for clicks that some of them aren't even waiting for your page to load. They're not clicking on anything. They're not going to your about page, your services page. They're not clicking on the contact form, because they're bouncing, which means they're not doing anything but going to the homepage, and then they leave. So to me, the company that's paying my service, what we are doing more than anything is we're building visibility, but at the same time, we're trying to build up the 1, 2, 3, which is know, like, and trust. We don't even want people to go to your website until they trust you. And our bounce rate is so much better. It's under 10%. When we drive people from our social media campaigns to your website, they're there. They're going to click on stuff because they already like you. You built this forgiveness, this built-in forgiveness. First of all, they understand pretty well what you do at that point, and they like you. So, like Mike, when I go to serviceprofessionalsnetwork.com, and let's say there's some maintenance going on by, your buddy over at Warren Research, okay? If Jake is working on something, Jacob is working on something, and it's slow or a button isn't working, I don't just leave. Why?
Because you know us. Yeah.
I have built-in know, like, and trust. You know what I mean? So that's part of why people will, instead of spending $3,000 a month on a pay-per-click campaign that's going to get them an 80 to 90% bounce rate, we'll spend $500, $1,000, $2,500 a month on my service, and they're going to get a much better return on investment and ROI because the strategy is completely different. Our strategy is building relationships, not
It's
just
branding more than quick hit and miss.
branding and marketing and rapport building all in one, 100%. So again, the strategies make fights, guys. If you hate this stuff, or you're not good at this stuff, or you don't have the time to do this stuff, just know there's people out there. I'm not even saying you have to hire me because I might not even accept you as a client anyways. I don't do personal. There's people on Fiverr, for example, they'll log into your account and they'll make comments and posts as you. I don't do that. I only manage company profiles as an account manager. I don't log into your accounts. You add my company as a manager of your company.
Trust me, you don't want to do that. I mean, for one, it's against the rules, and two, it's like it's such a pain.
Well, it's against the rules on LinkedIn. Every platform is different. It's not against the rules on Twitter and Instagram. You can do that on Twitter.
No, yeah. No.
So it just depends on the platform. Facebook has page managers. YouTube has page managers. LinkedIn has page managers. Twitter and Instagram don't. TikTok doesn't either. So, but it's against TikTok's rules. You're not supposed to have anybody inside your TikTok account. So each platform has their own set of rules. You have to know these rules and how they work.
Yeah, you don't want to build up an audience on a platform and get kicked off because you're breaking a stupid rule.
100%. Yeah. If you need a backup account, you probably are doing something wrong.
100%. Well, hey, Ira, I appreciate you coming on. It's about that time. I'm probably coming up a few minutes early. I feel like we gave out a little bit of value today. Maybe we should work
a little
bit. Hey,
people watch this. We gave a lot. This show, we give a lot of advice on how to run your social media. Again, I think for me, the biggest tip that I gave today is people need to spend more time on the comments and not.
100%. Like even if you don't look, I've built LinkedIn accounts for other people before in the past. I don't do that service. I haven't been a ghostwriter for a long period of time. It's been years since I've done this, right? But I built up many, many different LinkedIn accounts. And the ones that I built the fastest were the ones I spent time commenting. It wasn't, and the biggest part of the reason why I did that is because I didn't have to think very much for my clients in regards to building a post. It was really easy for me just to make a common sense reply. If you do your title and if you do your profile summary and if you do all that stuff right, 99.9% of the people won't read it. Okay. But if you cast a big enough net, that 0.1% can literally be hundreds or thousands of people a week. I know this because I generate that much traffic to my website, through Facebook, LinkedIn, and everything else just by commenting. We kind of touched base on this a little bit earlier with my Facebook, but I get 60 to 100 people a day through Facebook just from my Facebook profile, just from making comments on memes, political discussions, comments about standing with Ukraine, for example, right?
Well, I think if people want a good example of how to do the comments, they should go into one of our posts and look how we engage with each other, because we're talking about, you don't have to just talk about the post itself. You can have friendly conversation. Posts are conversation starters. The conversation in the comments can go wherever you want. In fact, if you're smart, when you set up your posts, you'll set it up in a way that people can have conversations about anything they want, frankly. Why? Well, if you, Mike O'Connor and Ira Bowman, go into any post and we start having a conversation, let's say we get 12 deep, 15 deep, 20 deep, where our comments are 20 deep, the odds are that we're going to be the top comment.
100%.
So, like on LinkedIn, if you guys ever notice, the default it shows are what they call relevant comments. But what it always does is it takes the ones that have the most engagement and it puts it in those. So if you go into a Simon Sinek post, okay, Simon I think has like 3 million, 3.6 million or something like that followers right now, okay, on LinkedIn. He has a huge following, is what I'm trying to say. When he makes a post, it's going to be seen by 100,000 people
Every time.
a million people every single time. Okay, so here's the thing. If you can get a top comment on a Simon Sinek post and be in that relevant default, your visibility that day will be much higher than if you spent an hour crafting a perfect algorithm-friendly post.
And that works on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, anywhere. Everywhere. It really does. Like I've gotten a surprising amount of traffic from YouTube videos where I just went and made a comment and people liked the comment. Look, if you're educational, informative, entertaining, or somewhat different, okay, in a good way, right, in comments, people will come check out your profile.
I went to an Adam Scheffner post on Facebook. Okay. I follow him on Facebook, and I think this was pre-Super Bowl. So it was one of the playoff games, and I made a comment, and it was an educated comment, right? I wasn't being stupid or anything like that. It was a legitimate comment. And on a Facebook post, now you guys have to understand, Facebook posts are like doornails. You know what I mean? Like it's ghost town usually on Facebook. But Adam Scheffner is famous. He works for ESPN, right? So he gets a big pull, and this is why one of the reasons why I make comments on his posts. I'm doing the same strategy there, but I'm talking about. It works everywhere. I had over 100 responses.
Isn't it crazy? And people don't realize it's all branding.
On Facebook about football playoffs for Adam Scheffner. I'll tell you what, that day, I probably had 50 connection requests that day. Now, I didn't.
Isn't it crazy? And people don't realize that.
But, it is what it is. It works everywhere. It works on YouTube. It works on Twitter. It works on... A lot of you want to build up your Twitter account. You want to build up your Instagram account. And you're asking me, Ira, how do you do it? You know what? I spend time every day making comments on Twitter and making comments on Instagram. Because comments are where it's at, people. It isn't just your post.
Especially on Instagram. I mean, if people I don't have 80,000 people following me on Instagram. Okay. But when
you can have 80,000 people on Instagram and still not getting any engagement. I see it all the time. I've got photographer friends.
Well, it's because those people are buying them or they're putting out, but they never engage back, right?
Well, yeah.
When I grow on Instagram by 50 or 60 people in a week or whatever is good for me, right? It's because I'm spending time commenting on other people's pictures. Even people I went to high school or grade school with, a lot of their friends and family that see those pictures aren't connected with me. So if they see me time and time again, commenting on those pictures, I'm advertising myself. I've had women that I was connected with in Facebook or whatever actually get mad because their boyfriend was jealous or upset that I was commenting on every single one of their Instagram posts, right? And here's the thing. If you're in a relationship and you're marketing a business on Instagram, LinkedIn, or anywhere else, and your significant other doesn't understand that engagement is what builds your business, they either need to go or you need to have a serious conversation about trust and business, right? Because the whole idea on Instagram, when I come by, I'm like, oh, looking great, Well, if you're posting a picture, okay, if you're doing fitness stuff, whether you're punching a body bag or doing some yoga, right? And I come by looking great, thanks for motivating me with your fitness. And I hashtag motivation and I hashtag, fitness. I'm not hitting on you. Right? I'm helping your business. I'm helping your image get more views. 100%. There's a vast difference. Now, if I'm sliding into your DM, and I'm not talking about a response to a story because that's the same thing. I'm so glad Instagram's changing that. It's another topic we can always get into later, right? But if I'm sliding into, your DM, responding to a story, that's not necessarily hitting on you either. And that's giving you encouragement. Right. So
a story, if you comment on a story, it shows up in the form of a message. So that's just people understanding how the platforms work.
Yeah. look, if you don't want people to engage with you, or if you're worried everybody's going to hit on you,
Social media.
or if you're worried people are going to judge you, or if you're worried people are going to like mock you, right?
Yeah.
Social media may not be the place for you. Okay.
Really. That's
But
where you hire somebody to do it for you.
you won't 100%, right? Everybody should want to do this, because if you own a business or if you have a home, you got bills to pay, right?
Yeah.
And everybody, needs to make money, right? If you have a business, you need to be marketing on social media. That's just the bottom line.
I have that conversation all the time with people too. But let's be clear for everybody, for the slow kids in the back. This is for you. It's called social media. LinkedIn is included in that. It is social media. There's so many people that say this isn't Facebook. I'm like, no, duh.
And your IQ isn't
I
150.
I didn't go to the Facebook app. I went to the LinkedIn app. I'm pretty sure I know what LinkedIn is. But here's the thing that you guys that are trying to be snooty out there don't understand. LinkedIn is social media too. And the people that are on LinkedIn, you will get more views on a meme on LinkedIn than you will get on a serious post on LinkedIn. And if you don't like it, it's because you don't understand what people are here for. They're not here to buy your product. They didn't come here to read your spam direct message. They came here for a couple of reasons. They got extra time on their hands, number one. And why? When people ordered the Sunday paper, remember all those years I was growing up, everybody had the Sunday paper. What was the first thing that they were looking for? They were looking for the comics, bro. They were looking for the comics in the serious paper that they spent $2 for.
Let's keep it real on this particular subject. Why are more people on LinkedIn during the week than on Facebook in our professional demographic? Because they're not allowed to be on Facebook. They're not allowed to be on Instagram while at work, right? Now it's changed a little bit because people are working from home more, right? But if people see you on Facebook throughout the day, they're gonna be like, oh, Ira's not working, he's on Facebook, right? Where if they see you on LinkedIn, they just assume that you're networking or marketing. So, I mean, you're absolutely kidding yourself if you don't feel like people are, goofing around on LinkedIn, right? I mean, 100%, that's what they're doing most of the time, and the people that are straight sales, unless you're Ira, who's actually like got a mythology behind it and a plan of action, right? What most people are doing is spraying and praying. They're just throwing crap out there because they see other people doing it.
A lot of people that are quote unquote content creators are not doing this right because they're treating people like potential customers instead of building relationships. It's the number one mistake that people are making. But when I'm bringing on a new client, I have to have this conversation with every single one of them. If you don't put up water cooler content, you are not going to build your base foundation, because people don't care what you do yet until they care who you are first.
I don't understand how so many people miss that. Like,
they have to care about you. Like Mike, I didn't give a rat's hind end about SPN, not a single bit, until I cared about Mike O'Connor the person. Now that I care about Mike O'Connor the person, I'm all about SPN. I champion it all the time. I do everything I can to support it. Why? I believe in it, but I didn't care about it. Look, you could, like I said earlier, you could give away the cure to cancer and people wouldn't even read.
The same thing how I feel about Groove Club. That guy came on here, he came on our show, he introduced us, he was smiling, he was jolly, like, I'm gonna do what I can. $40, I'll contribute to that guy's cause,
So I talked to that guy for over 2 hours the first time I met him. And I went from not knowing who he was, thinking this is not a good fit, because I knew just a little bit about his product before we talked, and I thought, yeah, I'm not going to be a good fit for this guy. And through the conversation, he totally changed my mind. And part of it, how he did it, was he was interesting. You know what I mean? I was interested in George the person.
He came off as a really super nice guy when I talked to him.
The guy that was in the NFL playing for the New York Giants and wasn't in love necessarily with being
so humble, down to earth, nice.
Yeah, superstar. He was having conversations in real life with his coaches about, hey, maybe the NFL isn't for me. And it wasn't because of his talent level. The guy was super talented. The guy was a stud at Kentucky. He was again, most people can't make it to the NFL. I don't care where you get to in the NFL. You're awesome. right? He's an elite athlete, but he's a really smart guy, and his heart is to help people. And when I start to figure out his heart, I was like, this is a guy that I am a fan of. Like we
Yeah,
became
100%.
like bonded, like brothers in a 2 hour call. The call was slated to go 30 minutes. Now, a lot of times I'll take those 30-minute calls and turn them into an hour because this is Ira and I talk. It is what it is.
Yeah, I tried to get you off the show like half hour. I was kidding.
Yeah, seriously, 12 minutes ago, and I'm still talking. But that's the thing that most people are missing on social media is they come on with the wrong idea. They come on like, hey, I want to advertise my
Preconceived notions. That's why they come up. Look, most people's problem is they think too much instead of reacting to being present in the moment or paying attention to what's going on. Like if you get on social media and you're just thinking about your agenda, you're not thinking about the social part, right?
Well, that's the problem. 100%. The problem is people are coming here thinking about what their goal is, what their objective is, and they're forgetting that social media requires an audience. You have to have an audience. If you don't have an audience, the rest of it is irrelevant. I don't care how wonderful your product is. I don't care how much it'll save people. I don't care if it'll save their life, if it'll save them money, if it'll help them be a better father, husband, whatever it's going to help them do is irrelevant until people, you have to build that audience up. That's why water cooler stuff will always be a part of social media, whether you want to embrace it or not, whether people understand the value of it or not. I totally get it. People come here with the objective to sell, and they're selling a variety of different things. It could be themselves for a job. It could be selling products for the company. It could be trying to sell themselves as an authority on a topic, so they're an SME. It could be to build a brand. They're selling something. But the fact is they make the mistake of going straight for the kill, and they haven't developed the apparatus. You have to develop that apparatus. That apparatus baseline for everything requires an audience, especially on LinkedIn, because of the first, second, and third degree level connections, how it works. If you don't understand how LinkedIn works, shame on you for not taking the time to figure that out. But there are first level, second level, and third level connections on LinkedIn for a reason. It's not like that on any other platform. What makes LinkedIn different is that. And until you understand that your hashtags are only going to be seen by people in your connection list.
So many people think because hashtag social media has like 20 million people, or hashtag India has however many millions of people. That doesn't mean those people are going to see your stuff. You still have to have engagement. You still have to have comments and likes, right?
They have to be in your first, second, or third level connections to see it. And
they have to care.
Well,
like you said, no like, trust. If they don't know, like, trust you, they're not going to respond to your content more often than not.
If you search India, it's the largest hashtag on LinkedIn. It's 69 million people. If you search it, the results, just go down the list and see what you see. You're going to see first, second, or third only. You're not going to see anybody that you have no connection to. Why do you need to build your audience on LinkedIn? Is because you're building out not only who you can see, but who can see you. That's why
visibility is everything. And if you don't have a large network, your visibility is nothing, right? And a lot of people, right, don't realize that, like, you're not an expert if you got 10,000 connections. You're not an expert if you got 11,000 connections. You're not a guru if you have 30,000 connections. You're just not. And I'm being honest with you, because
I'm a guru and I have 200,000 followers. Okay, I'm not a guru.
Well, I mean, I think it's absolutely insane when somebody calls himself a guru at LinkedIn or experts. But first of all, if you were a guru or an expert, right, you should be smart enough to know that you shouldn't even have to say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're a storyteller, I don't want you to tell me you're a storyteller. I want you to tell me a story, right? Like, I don't want you to tell me about your podcast. I want to see an episode of it.
I was on a networking call. It was on a Zoom call with a lady who ran a marketing company, and she kept trying to throw her and I in the same. She's like, I do everything that Ira does. I'm just as good as this is Ira. I've never met her before in my life, right? So, and there was a room of 6 people, and she's like, hey, I do the same things, and I'm offering the same service. So I looked up her on LinkedIn, and she had, I want to say it was like 1,300 followers. I was like, okay, so we're not the same already. But then I said, well, maybe her business. Maybe she's putting everything into her business. So I looked up the name of her business. She doesn't even have a business page.
Do you know how many people don't have a
In fact,
company
I
page on
asked
LinkedIn?
about that in this meeting. I was like, hey, I'm trying to find your business page on LinkedIn. I'm not seeing it. Maybe there's a crazy character or hyphen, or she's got it, somehow named it. It wasn't coming up. She's like, oh, I don't have one. We are not the same. Now, I'm
No.
not saying you're not. I'm not saying you're not good at what you do. I have no idea what you do, but we are not the same. If you don't have a personal following, you don't have a business following.
How can you be? Like, how can you even think it's the same?
I'm just gonna look. I get paid by 40 companies to run their LinkedIn business efforts. I get paid to do that, but I also do my own. You know what I mean? So, I could say, you could say what you want. It's like people pay me for a reason, and they pay me month after month. They keep going because the results that I get from them. I was talking to Brad Smith yesterday. I run Stellar Insights LinkedIn page for him, okay? Because he's a business coach. He doesn't have time to do social media. So he pays me to run Stellar Insights. We did a post 3 days ago. It had 22,000 views.
Isn't that crazy? That's a lot of views for a company page on LinkedIn.
It's a business page. He's a solopreneur. He's a one-man band in the business. You know what I mean? It's not like he has a staff of 100 people. You know what I mean? We had 22,000 views on a post that was put up on a like a Wednesday. I think it was a Monday, but anyways, whatever day it was a few days ago. Because that's one of the things that we look at when we have our meetings. We look at post performances and how many new followers does the business page have, and of those comments, how many of those are prospective new clients, because that's what he's mostly interested in. Because the goal for him with social media is to build his business. So we have targets that we're trying to hit, right? Anyways, there's a lot to social media, guys. Strategy, again, to my point earlier, what you should start with is your main objective. Your end objective is to what? Figure out what that is, but then work out a plan that gets you where you want to go. But I promise you, on social media, I have yet to find the person where building the base audience isn't the first step. It's the only person that would be true for would be somebody who's here as a consumer only. They're only here for entertainment or education. That's it. They don't need any sales, don't need any following. Maybe they have a role at a company, doing something where they're not forward facing. They don't interact with the public at all. They're not in a sales or marketing role, and they're just here to learn, or they're just here to connect with their like they're using it like a Rolodex. I could see that. Or maybe it's like a house mom who's here for entertainment purposes. She just wants to look at the funny memes and watch the videos. Okay, great. But if you're in any type of role where you're trying to build your brand or sell your product or find a job, especially on LinkedIn, you have to build that base audience. So it starts by being social.
100%. Well, dude, I appreciate you. I think it's good time to wrap it up.
We'll be back on Monday. Monday for sure at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern.
So much better than the morning.
6 p.m. Central. I don't know if we're going to be on next Thursday morning. We might change the time because we had
didn't even have a lot of people show up today. So
we only had one person on from Europe that I know of. No offense, but you know what I mean. Our sleep is worth more than that to me.
You gotta go where the action's at. And I like to do things in the afternoon anyway, so it's good.
I like the Thursday day. I just think we're probably going to change the time to later.
That's fine. Same time as Monday, probably. This seems good to me.
Or maybe we do it at noon your time.
Yeah, we'll think about it. Anyway, we're gonna cut the show.
Stay tuned, everybody. We will announce the new time. Whatever.
If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to our channels. If you're following us on LinkedIn or not following us on LinkedIn, please hit that follow button. Aaron and I both follow everybody back on LinkedIn. I follow everybody back on Twitter and Instagram too.
Even more than that, if you comment on our posts, we're going to respond to your comments, which will help raise.
People are surprised that we do that, but that's what we do.
Every single comment, every single platform, I respond. And for those of you who are curious, Ira, how do you figure out? Because remember, I said I spend 80% of my time, and I don't do this as methodically as I need to. I need to actually do this a little bit
Both
better.
of you do better.
But here's the thing: how do I pick, Mike? How do I pick who am I going to comment on their posts? I'm going to go to their posts.
I just hit the people that hit me.
That's what I do. That's exactly what I do, and I teach this.
I've been doing this since 2015. If you comment on my post, I mean, that's what win-win networking is.
Yeah, if you're
not showing up on my post, why am I going to show up on yours?
But and also to the exact same point, I want to reward the people who are being friendly to me.
That's the whole point. Yeah,
there are people in chat rooms who try to get me to go comment on their post, but I never see them on mine. It's like, hey, bro,
I'm about to leave some of these chat rooms because
I already did. Right? Yeah. Like, look, I get that you can't always comment on every single post. Totally get it. But if I never see you in my comments on my posts, I'm not coming to yours either.
Yeah. Well,
you don't like me, or
if I disconnect from you on a social media platform, it's either because you're like, pro something horrible, right? Or I don't think that's ever going to be a win-win. If it's not going to be a win-win, we don't need to be connected. I got 30,000 slots so I can connect with. You know what I mean? Like
those slots are worth money.
Yeah, they're worth money. That's how I pay my bills. That's how I get sponsors.
People say, how much money? Well, I'm going to tell you what. For those of you who don't know, back in 2020, May of 2020, I was furloughed. I was laid off in June of 2020. No job. 150,000 followers on LinkedIn, 30,000 connections. And I started a business. And in that first 12 months, I exceeded $100,000 in revenue. Now, a lot of my business is profit because of what I do. Okay. So I broke 6 figures my first year because of the following that I built on social media. And I didn't spend a single penny on advertising. I didn't need to.
I have to cut you off for my buddy Dylan Kowalski here, right? Dylan and I met through MMA years ago. We were actually on the same fight card. I think we both kicked ass in under a minute or something like that. He kicked the crap out of his dude. Anyway, Dylan has, I don't know, almost 200,000 followers now or subscribers on YouTube. He has over 160,000 for sure. He was an original member on the Service Professionals Network. You can't find him here on LinkedIn because he just doesn't do it. He's got too much bandwidth. He's got thousands of followers on Instagram, Facebook, and everywhere else, right? But this guy understands networking win-win. He came and commented on our live show, which introduces us to his audience, right? Because I engage on his products and his YouTube videos, right? And like,
Dylan, I'm your new best buddy, bro. I'll do it too.
Oh, Dylan, okay, is the person that really got me is responsible for me getting on YouTube. This guy makes a living on YouTube. What he does is he reviews products, especially like printers. He does unboxing on yo-yos. He does a lot of yo-yo videos, but he also does his video game streaming online, which I actually watch. So right now he's doing his USA boxing coach certification with us in the background. I do that a lot with Dylan's videos. Dylan's got thousands, and he's one of the guys that showed me how to do playlists and other things. He's a very helpful guy.
Can you put your channel link up for me, bro?
Yeah, I'll find it actually. I'm going to put that in the comments because like Dylan's a really cool guy, and he's
I'll follow him right now.
He's also on SPN too, so you can.
I'll subscribe to that channel right now, bro.
I've brought so much stuff.
You know what? If you Google it, I just Googled his name, and the second search result was his. The second search result actually just share. I'm gonna share my screen. We'll do this before we go. I got the channel up. I just hit the subscribe button right now. So I'm subscribed and I'm gonna hit the bell.
Definitely hit the bell. This he's a cool guy. I like Dylan.
Yeah. So check it out. You got all kinds of stuff on here. But yeah. Look, I'm a win-win guy, right? I mean, for any of you out there who if you are gonna make comments on our posts
or YouTube videos or whatever,
we're gonna do exactly the same thing back. A lot of times you'll actually get more. And the thing that we didn't talk about, Mike, that we probably should mention. Like you talked about, this guy's got a ton of followers. I didn't see
167,000.
There's 167,000 followers, right? He's got a big network.
He knows how to make money off it too, guys. People send him products. People pay him money to review stuff. And the thing I like about Dylan, and there's lots of things I like about the guy, but one thing I really like about the guy, if it's a crappy product, he's not going to endorse it no matter how much money people give him. You know what I mean? Like, I like this guy.
It's the same thing I'm doing on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
I have
same-
200,000. I have 200,000 followers, and my living is based on LinkedIn activities. I mean, for those of you who are curious, like seriously, that's how I make my living. Bowman Digital Media started, and everything came because of LinkedIn.
100%.
I built the following up. I started doing the coaching in 2019. I got so busy I didn't have time to do the coaching when I launched Bowman Digital Media. And so the coaching, actually, I just launched. I don't know if we have time to talk about this. We can talk about it.
We can talk about look, I'm not kicking you off this show. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. I started a training group just last week. It actually officially kicks off tonight. We're doing the.
Oh, you got a few people lined up for that?
Yeah, I got 6 people signed up.
How kick-ass is that?
So what I'm going to be doing in this is
And in the
basically
game.
I'm going to be doing group training. What I was doing on a one-on-one basis, I'm doing it. And what I'm going to teach these guys to do, Mike, is I'm going to teach them to support each other. So they're going to be building an inside network support
It's
system.
kind of weird that we have to do that, but it's cool that you are. I mean, because a lot of this stuff you can really learn in kindergarten.
Well, and the thing that I'm doing with this too is I've limited it to 1 per. So I'm not going to have any competition. 1 per vertical market, so that you don't have 2 printer guys or 2 media guys or 2 whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that
there's people that
there's
want
no internal competition there.
Yeah.
Because what I really want this to be is a referral source. See, a lot of people think pod when they think this. That's so small. That's small ball. I'm thinking big ball here. Okay. Big ball. What's your number 1 source of business for most people out there? It's referrals. Well, how do you get referrals? You build up relationships with people in other businesses. When they meet people who need what you do, you flip them to them. And when they meet people who need what you do, they flip them to you. And that's the way you make lots of money, right? You don't have to get affiliates and pay people and all that stuff. They just naturally meet people when they're working that need the services that you do and vice versa. And you just give them to each other. But you build these true networking relationships. And that's what I'm going to foster. So I'm going to be teaching people how to use social media and get more from their LinkedIn efforts. And at the same time, fostering these referral sources for each other. So they're going to make money. They are paying me. This is not free. I get paid for my time. So they're paying me. It's not a huge amount though, right? And I'm actually, well, anyways, I don't want it to be all about me. But
we got to do a show with Dylan as far as YouTube goes. He did clarify that
100%. Let's talk.
he doesn't take payments for review. So maybe I misspoke there, but like this guy, he's really good at what he does. Like you're gonna watch his videos. I already know it's gonna change a lot of what you do because you're gonna pick up pieces and things of what he's doing.
That's how my brain works, bro. I'm constantly evolving what I do because
we're gonna get this guy on LinkedIn. Watch it, or we're gonna get Dylan on LinkedIn once. I think he just doesn't realize, and no offense to Dylan, right, that he can use LinkedIn the same way he's using YouTube. And in fact, he can use LinkedIn to. I think if Dylan got on LinkedIn, he would triple or quadruple his YouTube following within a year. I think that it's worth an investment in time for him.
Well, there's a lot of people on LinkedIn that are not on YouTube, at least as far as actively. They'll go to YouTube and watch a video, but they're not like living on YouTube.
Well, people don't live on YouTube, right? But here's the thing about YouTube that's different than LinkedIn. You can make money on YouTube, right? You can make money.
I have a monetized account too.
You can make money just by having these conversations. Right?
In full disclosure, I make more money from ZipRecruiter than I do from YouTube. But
we're working on that. But my point is, right? If Dylan's the type of person that if he was on LinkedIn, he could show people how to make money on YouTube.
And people would follow him in spades for that.
100%.
And he could do TikTok the same thing.
Yeah.
This is the thing that a lot of people aren't thinking about, Mike. If it's popular on one platform, like how to do it, you can go to the other platforms and teach people how to do it. And now you've expanded your reach exponentially. And, do you remember MySpace?
1 million views, $1,000 to $2,000.
Once upon a time, MySpace was the king of the hill. If you had a huge MySpace following, you were the thing.
I had thousands of followers on MySpace. I was really upset when MySpace went down.
This is my whole point. this is where I'm going with this. Hang on a second, right? MySpace at one point was king of the hill, okay? And then one day, just out of the blue, MySpace disappeared. You know what could happen? Any one of these platforms, LinkedIn even, could disappear. So if you have all your eggs,
network, baby,
bro, if you have all your eggs in one basket, this is why people have asked me, Ira, how come your LinkedIn growth rate has slowed down? And I'm going to be very honest with you guys and transparent with you. It's because I've not focused on it the way I was. Why? Look at what I've done on YouTube, or I'm sorry, on
Instagram.
I've been adding a couple hundred people a day on average for the last 6 months. I went from on Instagram. I went from, I think, 3,000 followers on Instagram at the beginning of 2021 to now, I think I'm right at 90,000.
And that's from having people comment on your posts, but also from you commenting on other people's
posts. A couple things changed. I started creating content. I post something at least once a day on Instagram. Okay. I make a lot more comments on Instagram than I do on LinkedIn, frankly. Hashtag use. Studied the hashtags.
So are you commenting on hashtags, or are you commenting more on people that you're already following?
I'm doing 3 things there. Okay. So
well, educate us if you don't mind.
Yeah, I break it up into three things on Instagram. And you can do this, frankly, on any of them. This is just the one I'm focused on the most. Okay. Because I'm going to
start focusing on Instagram.
I'm going to have 6 figures on 2 platforms by summer, before summer. I will have eclipsed 100,000.
That's pretty cool.
People on Instagram. And so all these people that say, oh, okay, well, I have 100,000 on YouTube or LinkedIn or whatever. It's like, great. But are you a one-trick pony? It was the whole point for me. Like, I built my YouTube up to 10,000 back in 2020 because I focused on YouTube. And then I let the foot off the gas on YouTube because I made a strategic decision that YouTube wasn't going to be how I wanted to make the bulk of my money. I knew I could make more money by focusing on LinkedIn.
You could do YouTube and put more effort into that, and you could put out way better videos than what we're doing.
Well, I will step up my game on YouTube.
But at what cost? Like, a lot of people don't factor in.
I make videos. I'm a video editor and I'm an animator, so I can make better finished products.
To kind of defend Dylan here, right? He made a point about how I need to see how it works, but you're right. I should use that Twitter and SPN more, right? I understand bandwidth more than most people, and maybe this isn't a smart business decision to say, hey, I don't blame you for not spending time on SPN right now. Like, a lot of people think that I want people to live on SPN like they do on LinkedIn, right?
Well,
what I really want,
we've addressed this a little bit already. Okay, what we talked about was you have your primary focus. For me right now, my primary focus is Instagram. I'm building Instagram and make no bones about it. How I do it, like I said, I have 3. But I'm going to park that for just a second. I'm going to talk about this for Dylan and for everybody else, because we have already talked about this earlier. You have your primary focus, and for Dylan, that's YouTube, and that's okay, right? So you make your content for YouTube, but you can repurpose it. That's the thing that I think most people miss. Take your link from YouTube for that last video that you made and make a tweet and put it up on SPN. And
there's really nothing to figure out.
3 sentences, 4 sentences that you can basically copy and paste with the link to the video and drive people from the other platform to YouTube. But what I'm saying is, if you'll take just 10 minutes a day and make a how-to video, how did you do that on YouTube? How did you get 167,000 followers on YouTube? That's a lot. People will watch that and give them some strategy. Go to my TikTok channel and look what I'm doing with TikTok. So on TikTok right now, I'm teaching people for free, 3 minutes at a time. Now they'll be 10 minutes because they just extended it. But
I'm so excited about that.
I'm doing it in bites, in chunks, but I'm teaching people how to use LinkedIn for free. Why? Because it's how I'm building my TikTok following. You could do the same thing on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and all of them. And all you got to do is just do some how-to videos, just mix them in. And you can make a playlist on how to, because even people on YouTube would like to know how to build up their YouTube account, right? So
how to get more views.
I only have so much bandwidth. We all only have so much time to devote, right? I'm focused on Instagram strategically. But when I'm done with Instagram, I'm probably going to come back to YouTube and build that up. Because what happens when I have 3 accounts, Mike, that have 100,000?
Well, now you're an influencer. Now you're a real influencer.
So I've also, let's talk about the MySpace thing. Let's go back to that. I've insulated myself from one platform failing, any of them. Because I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen to YouTube. And YouTube's not going to like this, and Google's not going to like this. But TikTok is basically kicking the crap out of YouTube right now, right?
Well, you know why that is, right?
By extending their play time to 10 minutes. So now you can post a video up to 10
They're
minutes.
going to take so much business from YouTube.
They're already the number one.
YouTube's
website.
responsible for that because they don't do a good job of promoting people's videos. I mean,
Because
you can have 10,000 followers.
Yeah, you get no organic reach.
You got 10,000 people on your YouTube and nobody sees it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I got 1,000 plus now on my YouTube, and
I'll have a video that I put on YouTube with 10,000 followers, and I'll get 9 views. And I go, that was not worth my time. To your point earlier about making cooler videos, hell yeah, dude. I'm a graphic designer who knows how to animate my own stuff. Now, do I have programs that I use with stock animation? 100%.
Sure.
100% I do, because it helps me save time. But the fact is, I can animate anything I want myself. But it takes time. You know, there's frames per second, okay? Just to put it in a very simple way that people can understand. If I want to take a dot and move it from one side of the screen to the other, I can do that. But the frame rate is either 24 frames per second or 30 frames per second, right? Depending on what I'm doing. That means for every second of motion, I have to have 24 or 30 graphics. So if you have 10-second animation, there's at least 240 individual graphics.
That's insane.
Involved in that, okay? So it's a lot of time to do it the way I do it. Now, I know that there's other ways to do it. There's programs that'll automate that for you. I'm not saying it's the only way. This is the way that I do it. So if I'm going to take time to build 240 individual graphics to make 10 seconds of motion and only get 9 views, I'm not going to be doing that because I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So TikToks, I'll put a TikTok up and even a bad one will get 50 views. Well,
then you have how many followers?
500. Right. Yeah. That's 5 times the results.
With 1/20th of the following.
Right. This is why I think TikTok is going to destroy YouTube. Now, I'm not saying that they're not going to mess it up, but they're on a trajectory right now. If you had to pick one of the two in battle, I think you would be smart not to ignore TikTok because it's got momentum and the growth projection is off the charts. The trajectory is off the charts.
So we got to do some cool stuff over at SBN. We got to figure this out.
Well, the biggest thing I hope people take away is this. Comment more, right? Make your comments because comments, everything I said, comments still are king. But 2, once you have a post, you've created this content, you can repackage it and use it across multiple platforms, and you would be smart to take the extra 30 seconds per platform to load it up. Again, if you put all your eggs in one basket, this is why I don't have a job. People go, why, Ira, why don't you have a job? You know, I had over 20 years experience doing what I did with a huge following on LinkedIn, which everybody goes crazy for. You know what I mean? Like trust me when I tell you I'm good at what I do, because whatever I do, I'm good at it. That's just my personality. And anyways, we can get into the nerd stuff. But the fact is I'm good at the things I put my mind to. I'm good at it. The reason why I don't have a job is because I thought it was insane that I got laid off from the last job. I didn't deserve to get laid off. I was doing a really good job. Okay. But all my income, 100% of my income was from that paycheck. And they took it away from me. They robbed me of where I should have had job security because I was doing a killer job. I lost it in a blink. One Friday
because somebody made a decision.
Right. So now
that's a lot of power to give your employer.
But now I have way more security. Why? Because I have 40 clients, 40. That's how many clients I have.
They all have to fire you. Yeah.
They would all have to fire me for me to be in the same position as the. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And social media, it's the same thing. If you're only building your LinkedIn account, and let's say you're, somebody with 1 million, you're 5 times my size. Okay. Can you make a decent living? Yes, you can. I'm telling you right now, I make 6 figures a year off of LinkedIn. Okay. You can make a decent living off LinkedIn only, or any one platform only, when you have 100,000 followers. If you know what you're doing, I'm not saying everybody that has a following is doing it, because not everybody has a business brain like I do. I get that. So just because you have a following doesn't mean you're making money. But if you have that following, you can. But here's the thing. LinkedIn could take away my account, or LinkedIn could fold. And then what? The reason why I'm building multiple platforms is twofold. A, I'm protecting my own self. I'm CYA there. Okay, I'm covering my butt. All right. But also, I am now more commercially viable for every one of my prospects who come in and go, hey, our target market is B2C, business to consumer sales, not B2B. Well, B2B for LinkedIn it's the place to be. There's no doubt about it. B2B, right? But B2C, LinkedIn sucks. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, all more commercially viable for B2C. So by building my Instagram, by building my YouTube, by building my Twitter, by building my TikTok, what am I doing? I'm building apparatuses that I can reach the target audience, the demographics of pretty much everybody across the board. If they're on social media, they're on one of those platforms, I can reach them. That's why it makes sense for you guys to build a multitude of social media platforms and not just put all your eggs in one basket. And if you haven't gotten the logic yet, you're never going to get it because you're just being obstinate. There is no counterpoint that makes sense to what I just said. I've thought about it. I've fleshed it out. I've debated it with people. Trust me, I've thought about this probably much longer than most of you because this is what I do for a living. There is no reason on God's green earth that you shouldn't have a variety of social media platforms if you're in any type of a business. If you're running a business, if you have a website, you should have multiple social media platforms.
100%.
All right.
Well, man, I appreciate you. I think we're gonna have to do our hard stop though. We're at like 2 hours and something.
Yeah, no, we've gone way over time, but I think
we could talk all day.
This has been a really good show. If people have anything, like I said at the beginning, I wanted to focus this on social media. We did that in spades. So if you're trying to accelerate anything on social media, watch this show back. If you're coming in late, we talked about it in the beginning. We talked about it at the end. We talked in the middle.
For 2.5. Yeah. Make sure you join the Service Professionals Network. Make sure you guys, follow us on LinkedIn. We follow everybody back.
Everyone, comment, engage, be social.
That's the whole point.
First word of social media is social. Don't forget the social.
That's why it's the most important, and media is the second word, right? Like it blows my mind. People don't get that. Anyway, dude.
Hey, man, I look forward to watching your videos. Like I said, I'm subscribed and I rang the bell. So
you and Dylan would get along. Like if we get that guy on LinkedIn, right? He's gonna be making a lot of money doing how-to videos. Is
he still doing any boxing or martial arts stuff?
Well, that's what he does full time. He runs a gym.
Well,
he just had a couple guys kick ass this weekend.
Dylan, if you're still watching and you're open to this, bro. I mean, you don't know me yet. You'll get to know me a little bit, but I am a professional photographer. I do video work.
Well, he's in Chicago. I mean,
I could come out. Yeah, maybe I could come out and see you, do a photo shoot. You know what I mean? Maybe we can collaborate on a win-win.
He does a lot of tutorial videos. I watched one of his buddies fight this weekend. It was great.
Two knockouts. They had 2 knockouts this weekend. Nice.
Yeah, and not only were they knockouts, Ira, but they were really strategic. I mean, like in Dylan, you can hear him screaming the whole time in the video, right? But his guy, okay, came out and was jab, 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 circle, circle, jab, jab. I mean, he beat that dude to death in like a minute and a half with straight jabs to the face.
Like jabbing. Wow.
I mean, just jab. I think he got him with once or twice, but like when you can walk out there, okay, against another trained fighter,
right.
And just jab,
they're
jab,
yes,
you know,
class, right?
Yeah. I mean, and I've been in that position, right, to where you're in that cage with somebody and they just keep jabbing you in the face. They're just like, I trained for this. Like, I can't stop it. I didn't get knocked out in like 40 seconds, whatever that guy did. But it's not a very good thing, when somebody's just comfortably jabbing you in the face. But,
well, I just so you know, Dylan, I have done some work at Randy Couture's gym in Vegas for UFC, so I've got some experience.
I think you guys are about the same size. He might be an inch or two taller than you, but not much bigger.
Everybody's taller than me, but
I'm
probably heavier because I'm 200. I'm 200 pounds, but anyways. But yeah, I'm serious, Dylan. If you want me to come out and do a shoot, I'd be happy to talk about it.
We'll have to get you guys.
I'm talking about doing a win-win collaboration. So I'm not talking about an invoice. I'm just talking about an opportunity where we both take that product and make some money. Anyways, I'd be willing to do that, and I get to meet Mike O'Connor in person for the.
If I don't get to drive out there, I might as well have you come out here. Tina Oliver, good to see you as always. A little bit late to the show today, but I appreciate you getting on here. It makes me want to talk for another hour, but we got to do a hard stop, like I said.
Yeah, we got to go. I got things I got to do too. So
I got to go back and engage with people. I feel like I got to go hit all these people up in the comments. I got to go hit them back.
So Dylan, I'll reach out to you. I might have to get your information from Mike, but
I say tag him on a post on the Service Professionals Network. All you got to do is use the @sign. It works.
There you go. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So y'all stay tuned because we'll work that out. I'll make that happen.
Well, everybody, I appreciate y'all tuning in.
We'll be back on Monday.
Different time, a little bit later.
4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern
we might
time.
have to change that image for next week too, because later in the day.
I'll update the image. Yeah. We just got to figure out what time we want to do it on Thursday next week.
We'll figure it out.
We're going to have a new show time starting next Thursday for Thursday. Monday, I'll stay where it's at.
Have a good day, everybody. Talk to you guys all later. Appreciate it.